So Durgeshwari, we can start with you now. There are two prompts. You can start with the first prompt now.
Yes, sir.
So,
Good evening, sir.
Naresh, just one question here.
Yeah.
So we have day 1 and then we have day 2.
Yeah. So what we do is day 1 we will finish first today, and whatever we can take for the day 2 we will take up, because sometimes what happens is the number of students who send the assignments are less. So
Right.
we always ask them to send 1 and 2. And in case somebody is a sleeper, or there is always a deadline to set by 4 o'clock. But if somebody sends later on, so maybe tomorrow, if we will have a time, we will include him in the end. Otherwise, first take up the day 1 today and some part of the day 2 if the time permits. Otherwise, no. Okay?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll start with the day 1.
And how many of us are here today?
So far, I would say there are around 8 people.
Okay, great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, and sir, they are all aspiring to be direction.
Yeah, direction and screenplay writing student. They all are for that. From last year batch, Durgeshwari is one, and there's another girl from the last year. So they are the 2 students from last year. Rest of the first one.
Yeah, I think I remember Durgeshwari. Yes. Okay. Cool. So let us begin. Let us begin. So Durgeshwari, could you come alive?
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Good evening, sir.
Yes, you are. Good evening, Durgeshwari.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes. So the question here is, it's this picture that has been given, and we have
Yes,
to
sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So go ahead, Durgeshwari.
Okay. Lakshman, mending the fishing net, tells Ravi the risk is too much and the amount we receive is very less. Yes, I asked Shakil for an advance which I needed for my mother's treatment, and he insulted me in front of all, tells Ravi. Sunil, who has been helping both of them mend the fishing net, looks at them and continues mending. Nah, I refuse to work with such a man who manhandles his resources. What if I get caught? Tells Lakshman. You cannot refuse Shakil. Once you're in there, then there is no looking back. Had the sea given us enough fishes, we wouldn't have got into this shit, tells Ravi. Sunil listens to both of them quietly and continues to mend the net. Just then, a ball comes towards them and hits Sunil. A little boy comes to collect the ball. Hey, can't you see and play? Next time, if this ball comes here, you had it from me, tells Lakshman angrily. Sunil smiles at Lakshman. Sunil smiles at Lakshman and tells relax. Jokingly, he tells the boy, "Hey India, अच्छे से practice कर." The boy smiles at him and runs back to his friend. Just then, Sunil's phone rings and he cuts the call. Who is it? Asks Lakshman. Shakil, tells Sunil. You cut his call, exclaims Ravi. Yes, soon I will be cutting him also, tells Sunil. Lakshman and Ravi shockingly stare at him. I am serious. We smuggle for him and earn profit for him. What do we get? Peanuts, tells Sunil. Lakshman and Ravi continue mending the net. It's now or never. Let's get rid of Shakil and have direct contact with the Dubai party, tells Sunil. Sunil's phone rings again. Who is it? Asks Ravi. Sunil shows his phone, which reads Shakil calling. Pick it up and let's meet him tonight, tells Lakshman. Yes, let's do it tonight, tells Ravi. They smile at each other and Sunil picks up the call. Hello Shakil bhai, kaise ho aap?
Okay. So Durgeshwari, this is a very nice write-up you have come up with. Interesting characters. But there's always a but. You know, the thing is,
Yes.
the first observation here is try to have a firmer ending, you know, a more concrete ending in these
Okay.
situations. So
Okay.
here it's as if you kind of kept it an open-ended kind of a thing where okay they're not going to they will meet this guy Shakil and then figure out what to do or then they will confront him over it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my suggestion would be in a situation like these, try to kind of round it off right over here. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Try to come up with something which creates a clear-cut ending, you know.
Okay. So my doubt is, if suppose in these, like we have to write a conversation based on the picture. So can we, do we have to, the story should revolve around that location, or can we change the location?
No. You cannot
No.
change the location. You cannot.
Like if I carry forward this and show the
No,
whatever murder,
no. That's not. See, also because the time limit or the word limit that you have been given,
Right, sir.
that won't be justified. It won't happen in those 250 words. You know, that is not justified. In
Okay.
fact, a bigger challenge or a better challenge for any aspirant is to create a concrete story
Mhm.
in the space that has been pictured. You know,
Okay.
in the given picture. That's the challenge. You know, that's the challenge.
Right, sir.
And
Right.
and my suggestion here would be, and this is for everybody, people, all of you, that don't just immediately jump into writing the story. You know, the moment you see a picture and you're timely, let's finish. Karna hai, don't do that. That is more dangerous. You take 5 minutes, observe the picture, you know, observe the picture very, very minutely, see where it is leading you, and then begin the writing. Okay. So that's more fruitful than immediately jumping into it and figuring out your story as you write.
Mhm.
Right? So take your time, take 10 minutes maybe, because these are very important questions, you know. Take 10 minutes maybe, but observe, create your story inside your head, create a more firmer, more concrete kind of a ending. But this is nice. I am not saying, Durgesh, that what you've done is not correct. It's perfectly all right.
Okay.
In fact, it's very interesting as well, you know. But a better way would be what if, let's say, cutting the call itself is a concrete end,
Right.
and you kind of designed it in a way that when he cuts the call in the end, you know, it is kind of a statement, or it's finishing the story, you know. कि अरे
Yes.
इसको तो कोई कट भी नहीं कर सकता फोन, ये नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता, and then finally Sunil says, ले बेटा मैं अभी कट करता हूँ, ये कट कर दो, and that's a more firmer ending than कि okay now सुनील भाई कैसे हो आप, चलो शाम को मिलते हैं. You getting point?
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is more important. Otherwise, and see, now another thing here is the Sunil's character is very interesting. You've come up with very interesting. And how is it getting reflected in the fact that although he agrees with Ravi and the other guy, Lakshman, right? Although agrees with them, कि हाँ ये शकील गलत कर रहा है, exploit कर रहा है, whatever, but he's quiet and he speaks only when his turn, when he thinks is correct, right? So it is reflecting his character, very interesting character. Also, very interestingly, you have created that ball wala sequence. The boy comes with the ball and hits Sunil, and then he doesn't react. He's rather more jovial about it. He's more fun-loving kind of. Yet he is not one who will immediately, you know, give into pressures or give into any rubbish like Shakil's exploits. So that's a very interesting thing you have done with Sunil. But about the other two, Lakshman and Ravi, they sound more or less the same, you know.
Okay.
They sound more or less the same. Lakshman और Ravi में कौन सा line बोल रहा कोई फर्क नहीं है ना उसमें. So try to create one or two traits of these characters, you know, which will define them even further.
Right, sir.
It could be any kind of a trait. It could be a physical trait, वो एक हकलाता है, maybe, you know, or it could be something else. But try to differentiate these characters through other actions, maybe also.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Lakshman का है अच्छा है कि Lakshman भी चिढ़ जाता है, बहुत जल्दी चिढ़ा हुआ है, already बैठा हुआ है, उसका एक है. But Ravi का कुछ ऐसा कुछ है नहीं.
नहीं.
So ठीक है, otherwise it's not bad. It's not bad. What you've done is not bad. But yeah, we are here to talk of things that will better your presentation, right?
Yes, sir.
And maybe end up fetching you a little more marks rather.
Okay, right, sir.
Cool. Let's move ahead then.
Okay, the second question, sir. The different sounds that we can hear in the situation are the sound of the sea waves hitting the shore, the ghungru sound of the camel, children playing and laughing sounds, sounds of camera clicking, sounds of seagulls screeching, camel wala shouting, camel ride only for ₹100, ball hitting the bat sound, vendors selling eatables at the shore and calling out to people, sound of dog panting and running along with footsteps of his owner jogging, an app with speaker on instructing that you have run 6153 steps today.
Okay. Now there's a problem here, Durgeshwari.
Okay.
एक तो it says 100 words at least, right? I think the question was describe the soundscape in maximum 250 words.
250 words. Yes, sir.
Okay. No, then there's a problem, big problem. 250 words is a huge a lot of things. So I remember in my times when I was preparing or when I was facing the FTI entrance, so there was this question, there were two different questions actually. One picture which was given to us, two men standing in a library, somewhere, and reading. One is reading a book, one is doing something, and the idea was to write a story. And the other question was, you are sitting on at a tea stall somewhere in Kashmir, and suddenly firing starts. From somewhere you can't see the firing, but it's very loud and clear, and you are right as if right in the middle of the firing, and then describe the soundscape, right?
Okay.
So मैंने ऐसे point wise नहीं लिखा था.
Okay.
What I had done was I had created another story actually. I had created a story, and my focus was sound element that I am listening to.
Oh. Okay.
Although that was a separate question. Maybe here what you've done is right, but 250 words needs to be justified. So let's say not just 10 points, maybe it should be at least 15 to 20 elements, sound elements that you should be able to come up with, right?
Okay, sir.
Like for example, there could be a steamer ka sound, there could be a ship honking or something, coming from far off.
Right.
There could be dogs barking, or there could be some traffic which is coming from right across. There's a road, maybe a highway. So you have to create that sound ka ambience. You have to create the world, sound ka world. So
Okay.
the other problem here is you mentioned, for example, you have to be very careful about these things. Ki, sound of camera clicking, for example. Now, Dugeshwari, where are you from?
Pune, sir.
Achha. So it's not a coastal space, right? But have you been to a coastal space?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you notice, if you observe, beach pe, the sounds suddenly dip a lot. So even if you're like वहाँ पे अगर कोई जाके फटाके फोड़ेगी, तो उसकी आवाज में डुप से ही आएगी, डुप ऐसे आवाज आएगा, वो जैसा हमारा बाकी सब जगह पे आता है वैसा नहीं आएगा.
Okay.
Have you noticed that? Have you ever heard?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Observed it so keenly.
Okay. Fair enough. So one has to be very, very careful because these questions are not just given to you. They have some thought behind while designing these questions, right? So
Right.
the sand ka ambience, the sand ka fill absorbs a lot of sound. So all the sound of camera clicking and sound of there's one more. The app speaker. This will happen only if the person or clicking the camera is right in the somewhere very close to the people, Otherwise, it won't be heard. if you're really close to the sound, the source of the sound, really close, if the camera is very close to,
Right, sir.
it's only then that something like this can be heard. Otherwise, so ऐसे तो फिर लिस्ट बनाने में क्या, लिस्ट तो 25 लिस्ट बनाते फिर, है ना, तो कुछ भी कर सकते हो, कोई भी लिस्ट बना, लेकिन वो सोच समझ के बनाना है कि क्या, किस तरह का साउंड विल बी heard and किस तरह का sound will not be heard in these situations. You have to be very mindful of that. What is the space?
Yes, sir. I'll keep that in mind, sir.
Yeah. So be careful about these things because this is where they are going to catch you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, तो list तो कोई भी बना दे, list तो 10 का और 20 कर दे, 25, 50 बना दे, 50 sounds. Everything कुछ भी हो सकता है ना?
Right, sir.
Be careful कि क्या हो सकता है और क्या नहीं हो सकता है.
Correct, sir. Correct.
So things like a steamer or a ship or or something related to sound waves are more expected here than than others. Okay, fair enough. We'll go ahead.
Okay, sir. So the things that are audiovisual, which will be required for the shoot, equipment such as video camera, tripod, lights, microphones, boom pole, cables, audio recorder, headphones, light reflectors, lenses, batteries, memory cards, etc. Costumes for all the characters, iron to press the costumes, footwear for all the characters, needle and thread, properties, cap, fishing net, gungroos, ball, eatables for vendors, cell phone, etc. Makeup, foundation, compact, sponge, lipstick, comb, etc. and script.
Okay, now this you have totally gotten wrong, actually, I'll tell you why.
Oh.
So it says if this situation is to go for audiovisual shooting, what are the things that you need? Now you have to understand, again, people, this is for everybody. Are we all here? Are we all listening? I hope so.
Yeah. Yes, sir, we are listening.
Yeah, so you have to understand, so FTI is not expecting you to be knowing these important elements of shooting, like equipment such as video camera, tripod, lights, microphone, boom pole, or things like that. Just give me a second. So FTI is not interested in this information because this is one information one may have and one may not have. Let's say you are coming from a background of mass communication and you've done a bit of shooting, or journalism, you've done a bit of shooting. What if somebody who is aspiring to be a filmmaker and decides to get to FTI and he's actually a doctor and he has never, or she has never ever touched a camera, been on a set? She doesn't even know. She thinks, okay, camera is a camera, phone पे record करते हैं, sound भी इसलिए होता होगा, उसको क्या पता? So this information that you've provided cannot become the deciding parameter. It is not being judged at all. Am I making sense?
Okay.
But one, or maybe a simpleton, or a person coming from some village from some North India and appearing for FTI contest, he may not have, or she may not have this information, this knowledge, right? So that cannot be a parameter to be judged upon. What they are looking for instead is, or there's one thing which is common in all of us here, is your power of imagination and your observation skills. So this segment, you've got it all wrong. What they meant probably when they said, what are the things that you need for the to arrange the shoot, is, let us look at the picture. A number of people, characters, your actors, your main characters, what they are wearing, the costume, of course. Then there is a camel here in the picture.
Yes.
Let's think that you must have a camel in your list. Then that opens up another window where you can have a couple of other animals as well,
Okay.
right? And if there's a camel, so you may want some feed, camel feed, maybe some haspus, whatever, somewhere in the corner. Though it is not here, but you can extend that from here, you know. So things like these are become suddenly more important.
Oh.
Like for example, you mentioned something very interesting here in your so the kid with the ball, right? Where is it?
Yes, sir.
Right. The kid with the ball in your story itself. So you
Yes.
must mention your in the requirements. The most important segment should have been the actors, right? And in the actors, you could have pointed out three main lead characters, the three characters that are talking, couple of others, junior artists or some extra actors who are just doing stuff like a camel wala or a cotton candy wala, yeah, or somebody who gulgappe wala, you know. Then there's a family who is running around having fun, and there's a kid in the family, and there's a dog in the family, and the boy has a ball which comes and hits Sunil also, right? So things from the story should be more important, should become the part of the list, and not these elements that you mentioned. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Got it.
Because ये करेगी तो it doesn't matter, वो extra marks भी नहीं मिलेंगे, ऐसा नहीं कि they will say अरे वाह, you know all that, very nice. No, because if you already know, in fact that could also be, if you already know all of this, why do you want to come to FTI? Right? So it's not a parameter at all. Then for example, makeup, foundation, compact, ये सब मुझे भी नहीं पता है क्या होता है, compact क्या होता है मुझे पता ही नहीं है. तो
Okay.
तो फिर ये वाले लिस्ट में तो ये भी है कि और 2500 चीजें हो सकती हैं फिर ना.
Right. Right. Sir.
There can be a vanity man also, you know, there can be so many things.
Right. Sir.
So that doesn't add up to that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So be careful whenever this, whatever question that is being asked, even if it is sounding a little confusing, if it's not very clear, make sure, try to derive your answers from the image that has been provided.
Okay. Okay.
That's the safest bet.
Mm-hmm.
Try to derive all your queries, all your answers of the question, all your imaginations that you can come up with, but it has to have its roots in the image that has been provided to you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That is the most important thing here. Okay, let's move ahead.
Okay. So, okay. A helicopter suddenly flies at a lower height above the characters with a roaring sound. How do you expect the elements and characters to react? Sand particles flying in the air. The sea waves which were hitting the shore get disturbed by the wind force of the helicopter. Seagulls' sound diminish as they fly away from the helicopter. People rub their eyes, some cover them as sand particles go in their eyes. The camel wala pulls the camel's rope and runs towards a safer side. The children who were enjoying the camel ride earlier now start screaming as they bounce on the camel's hunch. Their worried parents too run behind them. Lakshman, Ravi, and Sunil too worriedly look at the helicopter. They pick up the net and begin to flee. Ravi holds on to his cap, which is about to fly. Sunil shouts out loudly, "ये दरिया पे कौन helicopter land करा रहा है?"
Okay, again, Durgeshwari.
Yes.
Nothing's wrong with what you mentioned.
Okay.
Nothing's wrong, but a better proposition would be if, let's say, you created a story-like thing here, you know, again.
Okay. So
Right.
not to write in points.
I would prefer not to write in points. But there's no wrong, there's nothing wrong in writing in points, as long as it is interesting, as long as it is creating or keeping the interest of the reader alive, you know. You
Okay.
understand there are at least 6,000 people last time that people appeared for direction, or I think in FTA. I was there in FTA last couple of months. So the examiner has no time to, you know, go point by. He will find interest if the entire thing is captivating enough, you know.
Okay.
And he will give that extra marks maybe if the story suddenly excites him. So had it been in the form of a story and had it been an extension of the image rather, for example, what if let's say, and you have to be imaginative and more creative here. For example, what if the helicopter came so close that it triggered a couple of reactions? For example, the camel suddenly got crazy and started running amok, right? And then the camel starts running amok and people are scared. Are ye kya ho gaya? Ye kya ho gaya? Camel bhag raha, kahin bhi kaise bhi bhagne lag gaya. And then suddenly all the dogs come and start barking the camel and they start running along as well.
Okay.
So suddenly a very interesting situation you have created, out of nothing, just because the trigger was a helicopter flew very close by. And then what happens? So अभी कैमल भागने लग गया चारों तरफ और फिर उसके बाद फिर कुत्ते भागने लग गए उसके पीछे भौंकने लग गए. अब पब्लिक परेशान हो रही है, बच्चों को भागा है, कोई लेके डर के भाग जा रहा है, कोई ये हो रहा है, कोई हंस रहा है, कोई मजे ले रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. All kinds of reactions, right? So instead of all of them reacting to the helicopter, they are actually reacting to something that the helicopter triggered,
Okay.
Right? So this is also there's nothing wrong. So as if it's very it's very subjective. My only pointer here is if you can make something which is very, very all the more interesting, something which is far more interesting to for the examiner to read, right? You have to capture his imagination through your words.
Okay. Fine, sir. I'll keep it in mind.
Am I making sense, people?
Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, Durgeshwari, bolo.
Okay. It's done, sir. These 4 were there.
Okay, yeah, good. Any questions you have, Durgeshwari?
So suppose if in the 4th one, the helicopter, it is like in the question, now I realize this, that in the question itself, they have given a kind of a conflict in the situation. So we need to elaborate more on that.
I think it's only applies over the character. How do you expect the limits of characters to change or to react? Yeah, exactly. So this is
I realized it now, sir.
Yeah, you have to. So basically कहने का मतलब ये है ना कि जब भी सवाल आता है ना तुम्हारे सामने, don't just immediately jump into it, right? Into writing the answers.
Correct.
Take your time. Try to understand what is it hinting at, or where is it leading to. What is the intent of the question?
Correct, sir.
Is it sounding as flat or simple as it is, or is there something hidden? Could there be something more to it rather than what's there in the face of it?
Okay, sir.
Take your time. Take 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever that they will allow yourself. Think about it and then start writing.
Right. Okay, sir. I'll do that.
And also be judicious. Where should you be using pointers and where should you rather be using paragraph?
Okay.
तो pointers का तो बहुत easy है, बहुत simple है, बहुत अच्छा भी है कि तुम बहुत cleanly, neatly तुम point wise में समझा सकते हो. But कभी-कभी pointers का negative ये है कि तुम उसमें emotion नहीं create कर सकते हो reader में.
Correct, sir.
तुम्हें reader में कि emotion भी create करना है अगर कि वो मजा आ जाए तो शायद वो story form में हो जाए वही चीज ना तो ज्यादा अच्छा हो.
Yes, sir.
Judgment करना है कि किस सवाल में कब कहाँ pointers use करना है, कब कहाँ story form use करना है.
Yes, sir. I'll keep that in mind, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Asharullah.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ashar. By the way, how many of you have already appeared for the examination once?
So me.
You have appeared. You appeared last time, this time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else who has appeared?
So with me, Vatsala had also given.
Okay. Okay.
So shall I start, sir?
Yeah, Ashar, carry on.
So name 3 characters as different names and then develop the dialogue sequence not more than 250 words.
Yeah.
Bhikhu, Bhura and Bansi are weaving the fishing net. Bhura, Bhai, today while coming I saw Jhumki and she smiled. Bansi, listen, don't waste your time. She is getting married within couple of months. Bhikhu smiling. सुन भूरे ख्याली पुलाव मत बना. भूरा frowning. सालो जलते हो तुम मुझसे. Bansi, listen, today we have to catch at least 25 tunas. There is an order from the city. Bhura, yesterday we only had silver carps and this is not the time for tuna. Bhikhu, did you take the order? Bansi, I also took advance. Bhura, best time for tuna is when the water is clean. Bhikhu, sahi kaha Bhure, look at the sea. It's full of plastic and filth. Bansi, I have arranged for a boat. We will set the net in the deep sea. Bhura, you gave the advance to the boatman? Bansi, yes. Bhura, frowning. अब आज रात को क्या पिएंगे? Bansi shouting, we are not getting enough fishes at the shore due to the tourists. They have made our shores dirty. It is full of crabs. Bhikhu, Bhure, try to understand. Boat will definitely help. Bhura, I need my quarter. Drink. They stand and check the fishing net for hole. Bansi, okay, so the net is ready. Bhikhu and Bansi lift the net and they move towards the shore. Bhura shouts and runs towards them. I need my quarter.
Okay. Okay, nice. Very interesting. Ashar,
Yes, sir.
the first observations here कि अभी तीनों ना भीखू, भूरा और बंसी तीनों लगभग एक जैसे ही कैरेक्टर्स लग रहे हैं. जो मैंने इसके लिए दुर्गेश्वरी के लिए थी, ये तीनों एक जैसे ही लग रहे हैं. दुर्गेश्वरी का सुनील थोड़ा अलग था. So try to create this एक थोड़ा differentiation in these characters in some way or the other. Keep that in mind कि तीन अलग अलग. बेस्ट वे क्या है पता है? बेस्ट सबसे इजी आसान तरीका क्या है पता है in these situations? So let's say अशर, तुम्हारे और दो दोस्त बहुत क्लोज फ्रेंड्स का नाम बताओ.
अनुराग एंड आफ्ताब.
अनुराग एंड पत्ताल.
आफ्ताब.
Okay, अनुराग एंड आफ्ताब. Now तुरंत क्या करना है ऐसे सिचुएशन में ना, जब तुमको इस तरह का आ गया कुछ ना, अपने आप को एक कैरेक्टर बना दो, अनुराग को एक कैरेक्टर बना दो, अफ्तार को एक कैरेक्टर बना दो, और फिर देखो कि तीनों तीन अलग अलग लोग हो. You three are three people, different characters, and then how do we, how do they react to, in this situation? What will be their specific nuances, right? Bring in a couple of those things and that will certainly spark that interest. It will make it more rich and more interesting to read.
Yes, sir.
So the idea is to get to the minuteness also, to touch the minuteness of the character also. Although it's a very limited space, limited
words,
but you have the challenge is कि तुम उतने limited words में तुम कैसे interesting कुछ create कर सकते हो.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting your point.
So try to, or when you talk of the girl, Jhumki, imagine a girl that you know of, imagine a girl who you know very, very well. Maybe जिससे कि तुमको प्यार भी है, and place the प्यार. Then suddenly तुम्हारे words में, तुम्हारे dialogues में उससे बहुत ही closely related कुछ चीजें आ जाएंगी, और वही चाहिए.
Okay, got it, sir.
Okay, let's move ahead.
Soundscape. The sound of waves crashing the shore is mixed with the distant chirping of seabirds. Children are shouting, laughing, and running. There is a camel and its owner is shouting a ride for just 200 rupees. A child who hears the bell of ice cream vendor and is crying to have one. A big boat of coast guards passes blowing its horn. There is a man standing at the shore and is shouting towards some people not to go further into the sea. The man with the camel is bargaining with few people for his money. Some people are busy taking pictures and multiple sounds of shutters could be heard. This one I got it when you were explaining to Durgeshwari.
Yeah.
A couple is splashing their feet in the water and the girl is laughing and jumping. The whooshing of cold breezes could be heard and it is occasionally disturbed by the crying of babies. The clattering and jingling bells of the fishing net is heard as Bhikkhu and Bansi examines it. A distant sound of DJ could be heard playing electric music.
Very nice. Okay. So now what you have done is, instead of making it point wise, you made it kind of a story के रूप में ऐसा ना lines में दे दिया. So I feel this is a better way of presenting the soundscape, because it gives the reader a chance to read the thing as a story.
Yes.
Now here the problem here is, although you created this, but what if, how could you have kind of still tied the ends together and created a one single thread? That would have been a better a bigger challenge. For example, बच्चा जो है वो आइसक्रीम वाला बेल सुनता है and crying to have one, and तभी so full stop, a big boat coast guards passes blowing its horns. इसी इन दो लाइंस को ऐसे भी हम लिख सकते हैं. A child who hears the bell of ice cream vendor is crying to have one, and suddenly or right then a big boat of coast guards passes blowing the horns.
And he shifts his attention towards the boat.
And at the same time, it's creating kind of journey. You're taking the audience, the reader, through the words in this to your space. Traveling, assisting him travel your space, and very smoothly. Connecting these sentences and using things like right then or suddenly or tabhi, and suddenly and usi samay aisa hota hai. So you are connecting these elements together, knitting them basically. So reader जब शुरू करता है यहाँ से the sound of waves crashing से शुरू होता है तो सीधा electric music पे जाकर खत्म होता है, and he gets the essence of it, a complete good nice essence of it. Are you getting a point?
Yes sir.
So तुमको वो भी बुनना है basically ना, ये इसको भी एक story की तरह अगर बुन दो, जिसमें एक रस छिपा हुआ है, एक स्पेस का एक रस है, ठीक है, तो वो ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाएगा. वो वर्ल्ड क्रिएट करना, वो बिलीवेबल वर्ल्ड क्रिएट करके.
Yes sir. Sir, so the soundscape should revolve around the previous story. Na same story we will set the soundscape, or we will write another story describing the soundscape.
What is the question? Read the question very carefully. The question says, what are the different sounds that you can hear in this situation? So possibly,
so it is about that image.
So quite possibly it is about the image, and more importantly about this space, this corner of that image, this what you can see here. But that doesn't mean they are stopping you to write or being imaginative and creating a more richer world by using other sound elements which you may not be listening. अब यहाँ पे तो steamer या boat तो है नहीं, लेकिन तुमने उसका डाला है, और suddenly उसको rich बना देता है, तो why should you not?
Got it.
So definitely, but you can't really be talking of a suddenly एक airport का space को तुम नहीं describe करोगे ना. They are talking of a beach, a sand and sea का beach. Simple as that. And if possible, अगर तुम्हारे स्टोरी में से कुछ एक दो चीजें आ सकती हैं, जैसे तुम्हारे वाले स्टोरी में तो वो एक एडिशनल कुछ चीजें नहीं है, कोई एक्स्ट्रा कैरेक्टर नहीं है या कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं है जिसे उसमें था कि बॉल आकर लग जाता है. So you could have had the added specifically then added a child playing around, hits the ball and laughs, and child laughing and coming or laughing and playing with the ball.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That could have been a part because you have already used that character earlier. So, but you have not used, so it's okay, which is fine. अच्छा, by the way, suddenly मेरे को एक और चीज यहाँ स्ट्राइक किया तुम्हारे पिछले कि अब यहाँ पे ना तुम्हारा एक प्रॉब्लम है, मैं बोलना भूल गया था उस समय ना, तुम्हारी आधी चीजें यहाँ हिंदी में है, आधी इंग्लिश में है. Now my question is, are these people Bhiku, Bansi and Bhura, are they people who can talk in Hindi and English as well?
No, they are just local fishermen.
Local fishermen, right? So if you choose to write in Hindi, you better stick to Hindi then. Or if you choose to write in English, you better stick to English. Because then it is not confusing. Then you know exactly what. Now suddenly what is happening here is, suddenly this guy says कि सुन बुरे ख्याली पुलाव मत बनाओ, चलो जलते हो तुम मुझसे. And then suddenly तीसरा बंदा बंसी बोलता है, listen, today we have to catch at least 25 tunas. मतलब कि मेरे को लग रहा है कि अच्छा वो हिंदी भी बोलते हैं, इंग्लिश भी बोलते हैं. I get your point. जबकि अगर पूरा हिंदी में होता या पूरा इंग्लिश में होता, then I would have imagined कि हाँ, they are actually talking in a local, regional tongue, and the writer,
translated it into English.
But now that you have mentioned Hindi and English, so it's making the people who can talk English and Hindi as well, right? So, and which is not wrong. They can be fishermen who can talk in English and Hindi as well. But then, if it's intended, then the entire design might change a little somewhere.
Yes, yes.
But if it is not intended, then there's a problem, or there could be a problem.
Got it, sir.
Okay.
And the third question is about that things required for audio visual shooting. I have listed different equipments.
Right. So again, so tomorrow
same mistake that Durgeshwari had done previously.
This is not going to fetch you anything, any additional. Honestly, when I was joining FTII in 2006, okay, my era was very different. So I was not exposed to any such information as it, But still, I only मेरे को इतना ही पता था कि भैया कैमरा होता है और कैमरा में एक लाल रंग का बटन होता है जिसको दबाओ तो शूट शुरू होता है और इसको वापस से दबाओ तो कट हो जाता है. इससे ज्यादा मुझे कैमरे के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता था. उसमें लेंस होता है, उसमें लेंस चेंज भी हो सकता है, ये सब मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था. So that doesn't mean कि I am a lesser aspirant. And they chose me, right? मतलब कि they are actually not looking for somebody who has these details, but looking for people who are more imaginative, more creative, more observant, who observe, जिनकी observing capacity ज़्यादा है. ठीक है? By the way, अपने आज के ग्रुप में किसी को इंग्लिश से प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है मेरे इंग्लिश में बात करने से? Are there people who मैं हिंदी में भी बात?
No, everyone is okay with English.
Okay. So that's the bigger thing. Okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं.
And the fourth part is helicopter suddenly passes overhead, reaction of characters and different elements. A helicopter suddenly flies at a lower height above the characters with a roaring sound. Bhiku, Bansi and Bhura raised their heads as they heard the helicopter approaching them. They also saw a mini tornado of dust created by helicopter approaching. They grabbed their fishing net and ran out of its range. People along with their kids and others too ran away from the tornado's range, and suddenly the entire space resonated with the loud roaring of helicopter. As the helicopter flew away, the kids raised their hand towards it and shouted, "Bye-bye." The beautiful, natural, scenic beauty of the seaside is now filled with dust and plastics flying everywhere.
Okay, nice, eh? But is it is qualifying for that 100 words thing?
Yeah, it is. The words are nearly 88 or 87.
ओके सो यू कुड, मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा और इसको एक्सपैंड कर देना चाहिए था, मतलब ये सुन के भी बहुत छोटा लग रहा है और थोड़ा और एक्सपैंड कर देना। वंस अगेन मेरा सेम फीडबैक है कि व्हाट इफ वो हेलीकॉप्टर नहीं इंपॉर्टेंट है, मैंने हेलीकॉप्टर तो इंपॉर्टेंट, जो तुमने लिखा है वो गलत नहीं है बाय द वे, ठीक है बहुत, बट व्हाट इफ इट कैन ट्रिगर समथिंग व्हिच इज फार मोर एक्साइटिंग टू रीड देन दिस डिस्क्रिप्शन दैट यू मेंशन। नो, यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल ऑल ऑफ यू पीपल कि ना तुम्हारा जो तुम जो लिख रहे हो ना, मैं अगर एग्जामिनर हूं, मैं अगर नंबर देने बैठा हूं तो मैं नेचुरली उसको ज्यादा नंबर दे दूंगा जिसकी लिखावट जो है ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है, मेरे को एक्साइट कर दिया, अरे वाह क्या लिखा है वाह, दैट फीलिंग अगर मेरे अंदर आ गया तो मैं उसको 2 नंबर तो एक्स्ट्रा दूंगा ही दूंगा। और वो ऐसी चीज अगर लिखा है क्योंकि सभी लिख रहे हैं, कोई बहुत अलग सा कुछ नहीं है इंटरेस्टिंग, मैंने ठीक है अच्छा है बुरा कुछ गलत नहीं है, बट नॉर्मल है, हाँ ठीक है, जनरल है, जेनेरिक सा एक स्पेस क्रिएट किया है, तो मैं उसको उतना ही दूंगा, उसको कम भी नहीं दूंगा, बट मैं उसको 10 में से 7 दूंगा, तो अगले को दूसरे को जो इंटरेस्टिंग लिखा उसको शायद 8 दे दूंगा या 8.5, ये मेरा कहना है।
सर मतलब सेम ही एलिमेंट को यूज करके हमें एक यूनिक सी स्टोरी उससे निकालनी है,
मतलब और कैसे इंटरेस्टिंग इसको बना सकते हो उसी स्पेस को। जैसे मेरे दिमाग में पहला ही आया था ना कि अरे हेलीकॉप्टर आया, तो मेरे को सबसे पहले स्ट्राइक किया हेलीकॉप्टर में आदमी कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा, वो स्ट्राइक ही नहीं किया, मेरे को स्ट्राइक किया कि वो कैमल कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा।
अच्छा
और सडनली समझ ना, मेरे को सडनली आया फील कर यार ये तो बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है, अभी हेलीकॉप्टर इतना नीचे से गया तो कैमल का कितना रिएक्शन होगा, वो भी शायद गर्दन ऊपर करके देखेगा पहले, उसके बाद भागना शुरू कर देगा। वो जो इमेजिनेशन हो ना, मजा आ गया ना, सोचने में भी मजा आ गया मेरे को। तो वो जो सोचने में मजा आया अगर मैं लिख दूं तो पढ़ने वाले को पढ़ने में भी मजा आएगा। Are you getting my point?
Yes sir, yes sir.
So that's what I'm talking about. Look for those spots which are more interesting, which could be, you know, not just general stuff, but a little more than the general stuff. Okay.
Okay sir.
Okay, so that's it.
Yes sir, that's it.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Okay, Abhirani.
Yes sir.
Abhirani,
So,
is it
yes.
one name or is it like?
What sir?
ये एक नाम है अभिरॉनी या अलग रॉनी इज सरनेम?
Sir, वो surname.
Okay. So yeah, Abhi, carry on.
Left one with the cap is Ranjit. He's saying we are here since 10 a.m. and still we could not make it. Right one is Sonu. What time do you expect from few cut net to come in one piece? Middle one is Arjun. I thought we will be making fun here, but you, Sonu, do you have money? Arjun, no. Sonu, then shut up your mouth and finish this work first. Ranjit, but what are you doing this? Sonu, so that we may do party tonight.
Okay.
Ranjit, in frustration. What will we do with this bloody net? Sonu, this bloody net will give us money. Arjun, how? Sonu, I have talked to someone who will pay 700 rupees for this. And sir, scroll up, sir. And yes, sir. Arjun, but this net will take a whole day to finish. Arjun, but where? Ranjit, while smiling. At my home. My family has gone to my relatives for 2 days. There is no one to stop us. But dinner will be at my hotel. Nowadays, my father has been feeling love for me. And if I go with you all, he will never deny me. Sonu. Okay, but I have to go with my father to hospital for checkup. Arjun, in constant manner. What happened, bro? Is everything fine? Sonu. Yeah, you know diabetes problem. I may come late. Arjun and Ranjit together. Don't worry, bro. We won't miss you at all. While smiling.
अच्छा, अभी मेरे को ना एक बात बताओ, अभी ये ना मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया तुम्हारी स्टोरी में क्या हो रहा है। सबसे बड़ा कारण जानते हो क्या है?
क्या?
Okay, let me just quickly go through it once again. Okay. Yes, they cannot make it. So what time do we expect them to cut the movies? I thought we'll be making fun here, but do you have money? No. Richa, pay the purpose. But why are we doing this? So that we may do party night. What will we do with this bloody net? This bloody net will give us money. How? I've talked to someone who will pay someone else for this. So this net will take full day. But where? Yes,
Means-
but where? Okay, at my house, at my home. My family has gone to my relatives for 2 days. There is no one to stop us. But dinner will be at my home too. Now there is no father. He will never deny me. Okay. But I have to go with my father to hospital for checkup. अच्छा अब देखो अभी सिंपल सा प्रॉब्लम है देखो प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना ये कहानी का कोई सर पैर को समझ में ही नहीं आया कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गया ये कैरेक्टर्स कौन है क्या बातें कर रहे हैं ऐसा लग रहा है कि इट्स अ स्मॉल सीक्वेंस फ्रॉम अ बिगर सीन यू नो
Yes.
एंड एज इफ कि ओके ये लोग की कुछ तो बातें चल रही थी पहले इस मोमेंट से पहले भी और अभी ये मोमेंट है और इस मोमेंट के बाद भी कुछ बातें होंगी इसीलिए बहुत सारी चीजें जो हिडन है या स्क्यूड है या थोड़ा सा ना ऐसे थोड़ा सा ओपेक है ना क्लियर नहीं है तो दिक्कत क्या है ना इसमें कोई गलत नहीं है तुम कुछ गलत नहीं लिखो लेकिन तुम्हारे नंबर तो कम मिलेंगे इसमें डेफिनेटली क्योंकि रीडर के पास इतना एग्जामिनर के पास इतना टाइम नहीं है भाई कि वो दोबारा पढ़ेगा तुमको कि भैया इसने क्या लिखा है ये क्या
Yes.
ये क्या हो गया बट वेयर का मतलब क्या था ये सडनली ये जो बट वेयर है ये क्या है
Actually, he is asking that where we will do party.
तो वो कैसे समझ में आएगा ये तो मेरे को सुन के या पढ़ के समझ में नहीं आया कैसे ये वो तो बाद में मैंने सोचा कि अच्छा हो सकता है कि बटवेयर का मतलब कि पार्टी बिकॉज उसके पास बोलता है एट होम एट माय होम नाउ दीज आर थिंग्स यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू डू in a small story like this are you
Yes.
getting a point
Yes, sir.
now दूसरी बात and I'm being very blunt here अभी देख मेरे को लग नहीं रहा कि तेरा इंग्लिश का कनेक्शंस जो है ये स्टोरी का इज वेरी करेक्ट हियर समझ रहा सो यू बेटर स्टिक टू हिंदी में डायलॉग्स व्हाई आर यू राइटिंग इन इंग्लिश तुम यू मस्ट बी यूजिंग योर पावर योर स्ट्रेंथ राइट
Yes,
if your
yeah.
strength lies or you conceive in Hindi like I conceive in Hindi मेरे को हिंदी
Yes.
पहले आता है and then I translate in
Yes.
Hindi. So, but then if I'm faced in a situation like this, I will rather मैं उसको हिंदी में लिखूंगा हिंदी मतलब देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट में नहीं मतलब जैसे उसने लिखा था ना
Roman lipi, sir.
कि सुन भूरे ख्याली पुलाव मत बनाओ
Sir, Roman lipi.
हाँ जो भी है ठीक है क्योंकि ये इंग्लिश का टेस्ट का तो नॉलेज का टेस्ट है नहीं या तो तेरा क्रिएटिविटी का टेस्ट है
Yes, sir.
तुम क्रिएटिविटी तुम्हारा बेस्ट किस अंदाज में किस लैंग्वेज में निकल के आ सकता है यू मस्ट स्टिक टू दैट
Yes, sir. Yeah.
यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू कैन नॉट ये तो गड़बड़ यही हो जाता है कि हमें पता नहीं है शायद हमको लगता है नहीं ऐसे ही करना चाहिए तो हम लिख देते हैं वहां पे कंफ्यूजन हो गया कि अरे यार आगे बढ़ो इतना 6000 आंसर्स चेक करना है मुझे आई डोंट हैव टाइम समझ रहे हैं
Yes, sir.
so you have to be very careful write in a language where you conceive and where you have more power and more strength you have to present your best so you don't shy away from that
Actually,
but
sir,
sorry
this is the main problem. I am from Hindi medium, but I was to write in English. That was I was in problem.
हाँ but मेरा बात you got my point ना कि ऐसा कोई compulsion नहीं है
Yes.
in fact let me now tell you all of you one chunk in when I was facing FTI there was one question I had answered in Hindi मतलब डायलॉग्स हिंदी में लिखे भी थे मैंने. So and मेरा तो हो गया सिलेक्शन. So that is not a point of judgment at all. They are just trying to take in people who are very interesting and who can convey. समझ रहे हो? अपने फिल्मों में भी कन्वे करना. तुम अगर फिल्म में भी तुम आगे जाकर के तुम जो कर सकते हो वो नहीं करके कुछ और करने लगोगे तो प्रॉब्लम है ना?
Yeah.
So they want people who can convey in their own strength, you know. That is more important. So be careful of this. अपने लैंग्वेज में लिखो. तुमको जैसा लिखना लिखो लेकिन बेस्ट कन्वे होना चाहिए. The idea is कि it has to come across without any confusion. ठीक है? बाकी तो ठीक है. बाकी वही ऑब्जर्वेशन एक और भी है कि सोनू, अर्जुन और तुम्हारा रंजीत लगभग तीनों एक जैसे दिख रहे हैं, एक ही जैसे साउंड कर रहे हैं, है ना?
सर डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर होने चाहिए ना.
सॉरी,
डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स होने चाहिए ना.
हाँ मतलब तीनों में एक कुछ तो एक यूनिक कुछ होना चाहिए. और एक और क्या वो कैसे आएगा, क्योंकि वो नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि ना तीनों को तुमने सिर्फ डायलॉग्स दे दिए ना. समझ रहे हो? यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक पूरा डायलॉग पे ही बात हो रही है, लेकिन डिस्क्रिप्शन कहीं भी कुछ नहीं है. एक दो लाइन का डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं है. कहीं एक लाइन लिख देते कि रंजीत जो कि थोड़ा शांत प्रवृत्ति का है, या रंजीत हु इज अ लिटिल साइलेंट टाइप, या सोनू हु इज सोने के बारे में कुछ एक लाइन लिख देते. तो सडनली मैं व्हेन आई एम रीडिंग सोनू एंड रंजीत एंड अर्जुन, my mind has already created an image of theirs.
Yes.
And अब वो ये लाइन को पढ़ रहा है. And I'm also imagining कि उसका हाथ कैसा हिल रहा होगा या बिहेव कैसा कर रहा होगा, बिकॉज तुमने और एक ग्राउंडिंग दे दी उसमें, और थोड़ा ब्रीफ दे दिया, ऐड कर दिया कि एक तो थोड़ा शांत प्रवृत्ति का है, एक थोड़ा सा शैतान है, एक थोड़ा टेढ़ा दिमाग का है, उसके दिमाग में हमेशा कुछ उल्टा ही आता है. ऐसा कुछ तो एक बना दिया है ना. एंड देन यू हैव क्रिएटेड दिस डायलॉग सीक्वेंस.
सर डायलॉग
Am I making sense? पहले बताओ, ये बात समझ में आई?
सर क्वेश्चन में था डायलॉग सीक्वेंस, इसलिए मैंने पूरा डायलॉग में ही लिखने की कोशिश की. मैंने
करेक्ट है डायलॉग सीक्वेंस है तो डायलॉग लिखोगे ऑब्वियसली, लेकिन तुम एक दो लाइन ऐड करके भैया ये रंजीत कौन सी चिड़िया है, ये सोनू क्या है, एक लाइन या दो लाइन उसमें ऐड करने से कुछ बिगड़ नहीं जाएगा. इनफैक्ट यहाँ पे इसने तो एक पूरा सीन ही ऐड कर दिया था इस लड़की ने, दुर्गेश्वरी ने. यहाँ पे इसने बोल दिया कि बच्चा खेलते खेलते आया और उसने बॉल मार दिया. राइट, यहाँ पे कहाँ गया? Sunil, listen to kindly. A little boy comes to collect the ball. ये जो है ball comes towards them and hits Sunil. अब ये part तो description ही है ना?
Yes.
Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Description है, लेकिन suddenly वो description जो है उस dialogue sequence में suddenly एक richness ले आया ना. एक suddenly एक sense of relief ले आया कि अरे ये तीन को ही हम सिर्फ देख नहीं रहे और सुन नहीं रहे हैं, और भी चीजें हैं जो कि interact कर रही हैं. है ना उस स्पेस में. तो वो बहुत जरूरी है कि इस तरह के एक दो चीजें अगर आ जाएंगी, और मूलतः वो डायलॉग सीक्वेंस होना चाहिए. ओके, am I making sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on then.
Sir, actually I didn't have any idea about this question, so whatever in my mind there was, I just wrote.
Fair enough. Which is why you are taking these classes, right?
Yes.
You are getting the information, and so many of them like you will not get the information.
Yes, sir.
You will next time when examination में when you come across situation like this, ठंडे दिमाग से सोचो अच्छा क्या करना चाहिए, बेस्ट क्या होना चाहिए, बेस्ट वे मैं अपने आप को कैसे कन्वे करूंगा, जो भी चीजें हैं बेस्ट वो सिचुएशन क्या कर सकते हैं और इंटरेस्टिंग सिचुएशन कैसे कर सकते हैं, वो सारी चीजें पहले सोचो एंड फिर बैठ करके लिख दो. एक बार यहाँ पे क्लियर हो गया दिमाग में ना, तो फिर लिखने में टाइम नहीं आता है. तो वो लाइक प्रैक्टिस जरूर करो कि यू नो डोंट जंप ऑन टू राइटिंग द आंसर्स. टेक योर टाइम, टेक 2 minutes 3 minutes जो भी है, एंड देन स्टार्ट राइटिंग. ओके, आगे बढ़ता है. What are the different sounds that you can hear in this situation? Describe soundscape in maximum 50 words. हाँ भाई.
The people are talking. Camel is grunting. The man with utensil and chips is shouting. Water and chips. Water and chips. Roar of seas wave.
ये क्या 250 वर्ड का 25 वर्ड भी नहीं किया.
नहीं, ज्यादा कुछ आइडिया नहीं, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था इसके बारे में, कैसे कुछ कहाँ से एक्सप्लेन करूँ इसको.
हाँ लेकिन अब ऐसा सिचुएशन आ जाएगा तो क्या करो, तो करना तो पड़ेगा ही ना. तो तुम फिर इस सिचुएशन में बेस्ट ये है कि वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम अभी?
यूपी.
है?
यूपी.
नहीं यूपी में कहाँ पे? यूपी में एग्जैक्टली कहाँ पे?
बनारस की बगल भदोही में.
ओहो, नाउ तुम यू मस्ट हैव बीन टू बनारस, है ना? तो कोई इमेजिन, कोई एक अपना लाइफ का बनारस का कोई 80 घाट इमेजिन करो ना. वहां पे 80 घाट में बैठे और क्या क्या आवाजें आ रही इमेजिन करो. यहाँ पे लगा दो. मतलब ऑब्वियसली इंटेलिजेंटली इमेजिन करना होगा. कुछ चीजें जो वहां पे हो सकती यहाँ नहीं होगी, वो नहीं आएंगी. बट इमेजिनेशन का ही तो खेला है ना. द टेस्ट इज अबाउट योर इमेजिनेशन. द टेस्ट इज नॉट अबाउट योर लैंग्वेज. द टेस्ट इज नॉट अबाउट योर एनीथिंग एल्स. वेयर आर यू कमिंग फ्रॉम? नथिंग. द टेस्ट इज अबाउट कि तुम इमेजिन कितना कर सकते हो. वहीं पे तुम्हारा इमेजिनेशन और किसी और का, अमेरिकन कोई बैठा हो उसका इमेजिनेशन सब बराबर है. सब इमेजिनेशन तो सब वाइल्ड कर सकते हैं ना. वहां पे तो कोई रोक टोक नहीं है. तो वही तो टेस्ट है. तो यहाँ पे तो सडनली तो एकदम कड़क से एकदम नंबर कट जाएंगे. मिलेगा ही नहीं यहाँ पे कुछ नंबर. सो बी थोड़ा को ध्यान रखना है आपको, है ना.
यस.
ओके, सी पार्ट क्या है?
If above is the situation of for audio video shooting, what are the things that you need to arrange for shooting? Describe in maximum 100 words.
Okay.
I'll be going with lighting and microphone equipments, a vanity van with me. Sir, same problem, sir.
Same problem. So again, this is zero नहीं, मतलब जो भी 2-3 नंबर मिलेंगे.
Yes, sir.
क्योंकि तुम गलत भी नहीं बोल रहे हो भाई. रिक्वायरमेंट पूछा है, बड़ा बता दिया इक्विपमेंट चाहिए मुझे, है ना.
Yes, sir.
नहीं है, लेकिन इंटेंशन कुछ और था सवाल का, वो समझ में आया.
सर
वो
ये
भी-
आप बताया हम लोगों को तो समझ में आया अभी.
हाँ, क्योंकि मुद्दा वो है ही नहीं. मुद्दा वो ये जानना ही नहीं चाहते कि तुम कितना पढ़े लिखे हो, कहाँ से आ रहे हो, तुम कितना जानते हो. वो है ही नहीं. इंटरव्यू फेस करोगे तभी ये मुद्दा नहीं रहेगा. वो देख ही नहीं रहे हैं कि भैया कि तुमको कितना नॉलेज है सिनेमा का. इनफैक्ट ये भी हो सकता है कि इतना ही नॉलेज है तो एफटीआई क्या करने यार, कहाँ टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो, जाओ अपना ऑलरेडी बॉम्बे जाओ, अपना काम पे लग जाओ. यहाँ क्या करना है? यहाँ तो वो आएगा जिसको कुछ नहीं पता है. गेटिंग पॉइंट?
Yes, yes.
So this is not a test at all, you know. Okay. D.
A helicopter suddenly flies at lower height above the characters with roaring sound. How do you expect the characters and elements to change or react? Describe it in maximum 100 words. People start looking at helicopter in surprise way. Few of them stand up and start shouting, Arjun, bro, if pilot wants to fly at this height, then why does he not try auto rickshaw? It runs on the ground. Few of them abuse him for it. Yes, sir.
Okay. इंटरेस्टिंग तो एक लाइन दे दी है इसमें, लेकिन ये कुछ भी नहीं है ना. तो कुछ
Yes, sir.
वही है. तो इसको थोड़ा एक्सपैंड करना जरूरी है. इसको तुमको लिखना जरूरी है. ये 4 लाइन से नहीं होगा ना. और डायलॉग नहीं, अभी यहाँ पे डायलॉग नहीं है. सॉरी, डायलॉग भी कर सकते हो, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah.
बट और क्या क्या चीजें हो सकती है? कोई और डायलॉग के अलावा और क्या एक्शन हो सकता है, रिएक्शन हो सकता है,
Reaction, yes.
कुछ भी हो सकता है. होने हो क्या, इतना नीचे से क्या कि एक अंकल जी का पैंट खुल गया, कुछ भी हो सकता है ना. अब
Yes,
खुल
sir.
गया, अब उस पर तुम कुछ बना दिए. कहने मतलब कि कोई ऐसा कुछ कैप्टिवेटिंग, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग, कुछ तो ऐसा राइटअप तैयार हो जाए जिससे कि पढ़ने वाला जो है, जो तुम्हारा नंबर देगा तुमको, उसको पढ़ के मजा आ जाए.
Yeah.
और थोड़ा लंबा, मतलब वो करेक्ट, ये तो 1/4 है मेरे ख्याल से, 1/4 है ना, तो इसको और फैला देना चाहिए था, इसको और एटलीस्ट बढ़ाना चाहिए था। वो तो हेलीकॉप्टर तो निकल गया, अभी यहाँ इनकी जो बातें हो रही थी कुछ और ही बदल गई है, कुछ और ही हो गया, भूल गया कि पार्टी करना, कुछ और ही कहीं और ही पहुंच गया, कुछ भी हो सकता है ना। तो इमेजिनेशन को दौड़ा के जितना वाइल्ड होकर के, जितना वाइल्ड हो सकते हो, इमेजिनेशन को जितना वाइल्ड कर सकते हो, दिस इज फॉर एवरीबॉडी पीपल, ओके। जितना आप अपने इमेजिनेशन को वाइल्ड कर सकते हैं, उतना आप समझ लीजिए आपको नंबर यहाँ ज्यादा मिलेंगे। आपको अपने इमेजिनेशन के साथ खेलना है, और उसका एक ही तरीका है भैया, आप जितना लिटरेचर पढ़ सकते हैं पढ़िए, अभी फ्री टाइम में जितना अखबार पढ़ सकते हैं, जहाँ जो भी स्टोरी मिल रही है आपको पढ़ने की, इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी जो भी है, जो मिल रहा है आप कंज्यूम करते रहिए, पढ़ते रहिए, वो वही कहीं ना कहीं आपके लाइब्रेरी में स्टोर होता है, वहीं से कुछ ऐसे दिमाग काम करना शुरू हो जाता है। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है।
यस सर।
ठीक है, कोई सवाल है आपको अभी रोनी?
नहीं सर, अभी कुछ सवाल नहीं।
ओके, ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर।
ओके। ऋग्वेद सुनील, एक मिनट ऋग्वेद, एक मिनट, प्रशांत और सी और एकाग्र और अनन्या दास। अच्छा, 5 लोगों को करना है 1 घंटे के, चलो फटाफट करते हैं।
Up. 4 people are there. Give them 15 minutes each, so that we'll finish it off for the day today. Okay?
5 हैं, 5, there are 5 people sir।
हाँ, मतलब वो 15-20 मिनट में वो कर लेंगे
जी।
चलो
हाँ जी।
जल्दी आ जाओ फटाक से, नेक्स्ट आदमी। Everybody needs
Sure.
input, so quickly come. हर्षवर्ध सुनील है यहाँ पर कि सो रहा है वो आदमी? यहाँ पे टाइम बर्बाद मत करो, नहीं है? ओके, फॉरगेट अबाउट हिम। नेक्स्ट।
ओके, प्रशांत।
Yes, sir, I'm there.
चलो।
ओके प्रशांत, लेट्स बिगिन।
Pintu is working with the net when Akash, his brother, starts looking at Pintu. एक बार बोल दिया तो मान लिया करो। पिंटू, थोड़ा दिमाग लगाया, सॉरी आई मिस्ड इट सर। हाँ, एक बार बोल दिया तो मान लिया करो। आकाश, बात तो करके देखो आप, क्या पता मान जाए। पिंटू, थोड़ा दिमाग लगाया करो तुम, अपनी चड्डी तो तुम धो नहीं पाते हो। शादी करेंगे। अनुज सिटिंग बिसाइड हिम इंटरप्ट्स। अनुज, तो आपने कौन सा पहाड़ उखाड़ लिया है अब तक? पिंटू थ्रोज अ डेड फिश एट अनुज's फेस। चुपचाप बैठो वरना काट के रख देंगे, तमीज भूल गए हैं साले। अनुज एंड आकाश गो बैक टू वर्क। पिंटू आफ्टर सम टाइम सेज, क्या नाम है लड़की का? आकाश सेज मेघा। पिंटू, अपने जात की है? आकाश शेक्स हिज हेड फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट। पिंटू टेक्स अ डीप ब्रेथ। पिंटू, वो मुड़ रहा है देखो, सीधा करो उसको। आकाश, भैया बात करोगे ना जाकर? पिंटू डज नॉट रिप्लाई।
ओके, ये तो कितना वही 250 वर्ड मांगे थे वो लोग, है ना?
हाँ।
ये तो बहुत ही कम है, तो 100 वर्ड होगा मेरे ख्याल से शायद, है ना?
हाँ, 100-150।
100, 125, 150 होगा, तो यहीं पे ही तुम्हारा तो पहले तो हो गया। दूसरी बात, वन सेकेंड, ये फीलिंग जो आ रही है ना पढ़ करके प्रशांत की, कि इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ अ बिगर सीन, नो, इट्स अ स्मॉलर सीन आउट ऑफ अ बिगर सीन। That shouldn't be the intention, you know. It's interesting, it's nice, there's nothing wrong with that, but you get fewer marks, is for sure, because you're expected to come up with a story. You're expected to come with a simple story in the image that you've been present. So that story should have a proper, decent beginning, middle, and then a good concrete end somewhere. Okay. So ये तो अभी ये फीलिंग है ना कि 3 लोग कुछ भी बात कर सकते हो। तो अभी मैं तुमसे ये क्लास से जस्ट पहले अभी बाहर अपने नेबर से बात कर रहा था, तो वो नेबर वाला जो टॉप था, वो टॉप को भी मैं यहाँ फिट कर दूं, उसमें क्या है? बट दैट इज नॉट द आइडिया।
स्टोरी नहीं बन रही।
There should be a kind of a graph in this story that you've created. There should be a kind of a beginning, a middle, and an end.
जी सर।
Okay. So and the challenge is कि तुम उसी limited से एक photograph से वो कितना interestingly वो ऐसा कुछ create कर पाते हो. जो कर पाएगा उसको ज्यादा नंबर मिलेंगे, जो नहीं कर पाएगा उसको तक नंबर नहीं मिलेंगे. Point number one. Point number two, try to incorporate the elements of that space that has been given. No, मतलब यहाँ पे बीच का है, समुंदर है, रेत है. Why aren't we talking of elements, or why aren't these people, kind of, why aren't your characters exploiting those elements somewhere? तुमने अच्छा किया मच्छी फेंक के मारता उसको. वो इंटरेस्टिंग है. वो वही का एक स्पेस का ही एक एलिमेंट को उठा के उसने कुछ तो किया. वो इंटरेस्टिंग है. ऐसी चीजें और क्यों नहीं होती? उनकी बातचीत में वो वाला एलिमेंट क्यों नहीं, वो जिक्र क्यों नहीं? हालांकि इसमें कोई गलत बात नहीं भाई, वो लड़की के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि चल लड़की का बात नहीं, तुम कौन सा उखाड़ ले. तो इट हैज. और दूसरी बात ये ऑल्सो तुम क्या उखाड़ ले, ये लैंग्वेज इज वेरी नॉर्थ इंडियन ना. कि कोस्टल रीजन नॉर्थ इंडिया में it's a very mismatch visually ना. So you have to understand, you try to, if not तुम नहीं हो सकता, तुम साउथ से नहीं हो, कहीं से वेस्ट से नहीं हो, तुम नहीं इमेजिन कर सकते हो, but you can always try to be a little neutral somewhere, no?
Yes sir.
And बाकी सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस तो वही पिछले वैसे जो है कि तुम्हारे कैरेक्टर्स भी तीनों लगभग एक जैसे दिख रहे हैं. एक फील हुआ कि छोटा है क्योंकि वो आकाश वो भैया बोलता है. अगर वो भैया बोल रहा मतलब वो उम्र में शायद छोटा है, और द अदर वन इज एल्डर, राइट. बट इसके अलावा कोई डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं है. कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं हो रही है जो कि उसके बारे में हम कुछ ज्यादा जाने. ये बात करते करते सडनली चुप हो गया.
जी हाँ.
चुप हो गए तो हमें पता ही नहीं क्यों चुप हुए, किसी को नहीं पता है. और फिर सडनली वापस आया, बात कंटिन्यू किया. तो चुप हुआ तो कहीं ख्यालों में खो गया था कहीं ना कहीं. तो उससे एक उस कैरेक्टर का एक और परत निकल जाता है, मे बी लॉस्ट वन, और वो शायद वो स्ट्रेस्ड आउट है या कुछ है चल रहा है उसके साथ. ऐसी चीजें इनकॉर्पोरेट करोगे तो तुम्हारा टेक्स्ट जो है वो रिच बनेगा. एंड जितना रिच बनेगा तुमको उतने नंबर मिलेंगे. जितना रिच रहेगा, जितना इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा, तुमको उतने नंबर ज्यादा मिलेंगे. इट इज एज
सर क्वेश्चन में था कि these guys are talking and how they would be talking. वो फोटो में जैसे जो है वो how would they be talking. So अगर क्वेश्चन में ऐसा देते हैं तो डायलॉग ज्यादा लिखना है कि एक्शन, मतलब कि एक्शन ज्यादा लिखना है? आप जैसे बोल रहे हो कि एक्शन
नहीं, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि एक्शन लिखना है.
उनके बारे में उनका कैरेक्टर डिस्क्रिप्शन देना है.
Imagine what the three men in a cluster working with finishing are talking about. तो ऐसा नहीं कि एक्शन ही लिखना, डायलॉग लिखना ही नहीं है.
हाँ,
ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. बट ऑब्वियसली डायलॉग तो लिखना ही है, लेकिन एक्शन भी लिखना है. उनको समझाना भी है ना ये कैरेक्टर्स क्या चल रहा है, कौन है, कहाँ से है, वो टोपी कहाँ से आ गया, उसका ही उसकी खुद की टोपी की, वो एक्चुअली किसी का झाप करके आया कहीं से. फिर अब ये इमेज को अगर देखो तो इसमें कैमल भी है, इसमें बाकी एलिमेंट्स भी दिख रहे हैं. तुम्हारे डिस्क्रिप्शन में ये सारे एलिमेंट्स का जिक्र ही नहीं है कहीं भी ना. तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज नॉट सच अ रिच डिस्क्रिप्शन. मान लो इन एलिमेंट्स का जिक्र हो जाता somehow, तो अपनी स्टोरी में इन एलिमेंट्स को कनेक्ट कर देते. मान लो कि वो जो लड़की की बात कर रहा है, वो जो कैमल वाला, उसकी बहन है. सडनली कनेक्शन में बन गया, तुम उस इमेज को भी यूज कर लिया और एक रिचनेस भी आ गया.
करेक्ट
है ना. तो ऐसी चीजों को थोड़ा यू हैव टू बी रियली वेरी केयरफुल एंड वेरी वेरी ऑब्जर्वेंट. See, they are testing your skill of observation and your imagination in these questions. It is as simple as that. इसमें कोई और चीज नहीं मांग रहे
जी.
तो ठीक है, तो अभी नेक्स्ट आगे बढ़ते हैं क्या बी पे.
सवाल
तुमको
सवाल लिखा नहीं सर.
नहीं, तुम्हें कोई पूछना है? कुछ
नहीं सर, सवाल कुछ नहीं. Next question. I can hear the ocean waves crashing at the beach shore and then returning to it again. The wind is making the cap of the man fly away. The seagulls are making loud noises as they fly into the ocean to hunt fish. The three men in a cluster are talking and sometimes shouting. In the background is a camel which has bells around its neck. They jingle as the camel walks forward. The camel owner is shouting out the price to take a ride on the camel. Children are screaming and laughing as they are pulled up by the camel and taken on the ride. Oh, it's nice.
Again, I don't know if it is 100 words
250.
होगा क्या? ना?
50, 60.
तो पूरा 2 लाइन और ऐड करने में क्या दिक्कत है? पहली बात. फिर दूसरी बात ये है कि again, it's a very generic description of the soundscape. No, मतलब what you see is what you're kind of describing, right? My point is here. My suggestion would be कि you add what you see, what you describe, and go beyond this. Then suddenly, add something which is not visible but which can be a part of the scene. For example, that steamer, let's say, or somebody. Suddenly, a steamer with 10 people, partying, comes and सामने से गुजरता है. तो 10 लोग जो है पार्टी कर रहे थे स्टीमर में, तो उस स्टीमर की आवाज, उसमें पार्टी चल रही है, गाना बज रहा है, लोग चिल्लम चिल्ली कर रहे हैं, वो आता है और वो आके निकल भी चला जाता है, गायब भी हो जाता है, खो भी जाता है. Suddenly it adds a little richness to the space. Or it could be some other animal is also there. Or suddenly the camel is not listening to suddenly camel sits down. तो camel sits down, तो वो जो बंदा था जो उस पे चढ़ा हुआ था, वो चिल्लाने लगा, अरे तुम तो मैंने पैसा ले लिया, कैमल राइड ही नहीं हो रहा है. कुछ तो ऐसे इंटरेस्टिंग कुछ तो एक ना कर दो जिसमें कि वो मेरे को पढ़ने में मजा आ जाए, दिखने लग जाए वो विजुअल ना. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah.
So if they ask mention the sounds, you can write little bit dialogue also.
Yeah, dialogue is also sound. Technically it's not
talking.
wrong. Yeah, but only little bit, because their intention is not dialogues. It's not dialogue that they intend to hear. Their intention is sound elements. चिड़िया की आवाज, वेव्स की आवाज, कार का इंजन का आवाज, स्टीमर का हॉर्न का आवाज, दुनिया जान की जो आवाजें हैं, ट्रेन गुजरने का आवाज, प्लेन का, हेलीकॉप्टर का आवाज, जो भी आवाज है तुम सुन सकते हो, right? But at the same time, there are people shouting and cheering and a couple fighting with each other. Could be anything. Or a man scolding his son or something. पानी में क्यों गया? तो मना किया था नहीं यहाँ, तो क्यों गया? It could be so many things, So they can be a couple of dialogues also. There's no problem in that. But mostly it has to be sound elements. Should we move ahead? And of course, अगर 100 मांगा है तो तुम 105 कर दो, चलेगा, ठीक है. 95 रखोगे तो थोड़ा सा वो खटक सकता है. आइडिया है कि 100 का 100 के आसपास ही होना चाहिए.
First and foremost thing for audiovisual shoot would be the camera. Along with the camera, there a tripod also would be needed to place the camera. Then the recording device, a portable mic which would not get disturbed by the wind while recording, a microphone and a headphone, and some people to operate and hold the mic and camera. The next thing would be the costumes of the actors if it's not a documentary.
So to answer this question, I've already answered in several.
Yes, sir, I got it.
So in fact, these are those trap questions you have to understand. Now that everybody is making the same mistake, these are those trap questions. It's not about these elements are okay. तुमने लिख दिया, mention कर दिया तो गलत नहीं किया. But apart from these elements, what is more important is if this entire scene has to be shot. Okay, what are those elements apart from these basic rudimentary, those camera and the things? इसके अलावा और क्या हो सकता है? तो
at that moment, what you would need?
Yeah, your actors. Camel का जिक्र नहीं है. Camel दिख रहा है तुमको भी पिक्चर में. Camel तो चाहिए, animal, एक camel. It could be they could add some animals. एक dog भी होगा, एक cat भी हो सकता है, और characters हो सकते हैं, और actors हो सकते हैं. उनका एक दरी भी हो सकता है, एक चटाई हो सकती है, एक ये हो सकता है, वो हो सकता है, इस तरह की चीजें. जो एलिमेंट्स हैं जो सेटिंग को स्पेस को बिल्ड कर रहे हैं वो जरूरी
Yes,
है
sir.
to arrange for the shoot. Yeah. So apart from the shooting equipments, these are those other elements that you will be needing to come up with this scene, this sequence.
So then props, that means.
Props, costumes,
Hmm.
it could be it could be a property prop, it could be a part of the space. Maybe किसी ने ना साउंड का एक ऐसा साउंड कह रहा हूँ रेत का टीला बना के कहीं रखा हुआ है, ठीक है, पीछे तो वो जो टीला है वो बना हुआ दिखना चाहिए, तो वो वैसे बना के कहीं रखा है, हालांकि इमेज में नहीं दिख रहा है, लेकिन somebody has अपने में से टीम पीछे कुछ तो बनाया हुआ है, तो कुछ इस तरह की चीजें जो कि इमेजिन करके उस स्पेस में क्या क्या हो सकता है, क्या क्या चीजें हो सकती हैं, उनको आपको भरना है।
I'll move on. If a helicopter flies above the characters with a roaring sound, then the helicopter can be in frame. The dialogue would not be audible, and the light may get disturbed on the characters because of the shadow. The helicopter is at a lower height, so the characters' hair and clothes will also start flying. If the actors are briefed before the shot of possible disturbances, then they would continue to act, adapt, and improvise as the camera rolls. If not, then we have to take another take.
Okay, I didn't understand anything. If a helicopter flies above characters with a roaring sound, then the helicopter can be in frame. The dialogue would not be audible. Light may get disturbed. The characters because of the shadow. The helicopter is at a low height, so characters here because will start flying. If the actors are briefed before the shot of possible disturbances, then they would continue to act, adapt, and improvise as the camera rolls. If not, then we have to take another shot. Now this is completely you've taken the question very wrongly. Prashant, no? Prashant.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
प्रशांत, यू अंडरस्टैंड, ये टेक्निकल में नहीं घुस रहे हैं, ये सारा ये सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस है ना, ये सिर्फ इमेजिनेशन और उस पे ही है, विजुअलाइजेशन पे। हाउ डू यू विजुअलाइज समथिंग व्हिच इज इमेजिनेटिव आउट ऑफ योर इमेजिनेशन? Helicopter suddenly flies at a lower height of the characters with a roaring sound. How do you expect the elements and characters to change? इस सवाल का सिंपल मीनिंग ये है कि whatever these characters are, now that this is a space, now that they are these characters playing and talking and discussing or just sitting idle, and एक हेलीकॉप्टर यहाँ से कैमल के 10 फीट के ऊपर से गुजर के जाता है, तो अभी इनके रिएक्शन क्या होंगे?
They would look up.
वो क्या करेंगे? हाँ, ये स्पेस जो है ना वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये फोटोग्राफ इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो एक्टर्स और शूट का मामला नहीं, शूट वाला हो गया जो करना था। यहाँ पे है कि अब ये क्या कर सकते हैं इसमें, है ना?
हाँ.
तो कोई ऊपर देखेगा, कोई खोजेगा, अरे कोई उसमें हीरो बैठा है क्या, कोई और है क्या, ऐसी चीजें होंगी ना।
हाँ.
रियल स्पेस में अगर है तो क्या होगा? फॉरगेट अबाउट शूटिंग। तो रियल स्पेस में तुम्हारे साथ यहाँ जू बीच है, मैं घर से बगल में, वहां पे मैं जाता हूँ कभी कभी होता है कि बगल में फ्लाइट का पाथ है प्लेन का, कभी कभी होता है कि प्लेन बिल्कुल सर के ऊपर से जाते हैं, ऐसा लगता है मेरे 15। बट वैसे में मैं क्या देखूंगा, क्या सोचूंगा अगर वहां बैठा हूँ, अरे यार क्या बात है, कुछ तो चलेगा दिमाग में ना, वो क्या चलेगा, वो ट्रिगर कर सकता है, सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स जो ट्रिगर हो सकते हैं, उनको मेंशन करना, उनको इमेजिन करना है और इमेजिन करके मेंशन करना है। और वो इमेजिनेशन जो तुम्हारा वो कितना इंटरेस्टिंग है, कितना रिच है, वो मैटर करेगा कितना।
Yes. Got it.
So again, what you did wrong here was you immediately started writing the answer. You did not really think before you started writing the answer. So when you read the question, give yourself 2 minutes. All of you, this is for everybody, people. I'm repeating again and again. The moment you get the question, read the question, give yourselves at least 2 minutes before you jump off right now. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, next one, please.
Okay. Thank you.
OGC here. Good evening, sir.
Oji,
So
is
the
it Oji? How do you pronounce it? Sorry.
OGC.
Oji. Okay. Yeah.
So the first question was ki name 3 characters and develop the dialogue sequence. Gondal. Let's ready the fishing net. Faster, it's almost evening. Ajay and Keshav, have patience. Gondal. Look, the camel is also here. Let's hurry up, otherwise we will miss our fish of luck. Ajay, how do you know it's this camel only that Mahesh told you about? Keshav, no, it's this camel only. Look, it's standing near the ocean and has 3 people sitting on it. I clearly remember his description. Ajay, it's been 5 years since Mahesh told us this. Maybe nothing like this will happen. Gondal, we have been preparing for this day from so many years. Finally, we are going to be rich. Then why are you talking all this negative? Keshav, you remember na how Mahesh got richer and richer after catching this fish, and this fish can only be seen in 5 years. Then let's not waste time. Even the net is ready. Let's go. Ajay, let's hope that what Mahesh told us happens to be true. Let's go. Gondal, yes, let's go. The moon is almost here. Today will be the end of our struggle. Let's go and catch this fish.
Okay. Now, Oji, I don't know what the problem is, but it's not very clear what exactly is the story all about. You know, is it coming from a very specific cultural reference? Is there a particular cultural connect to it?
Actually, this just came to my head. Yeah, it can have a cultural reference to it, and because like sometimes it happens that people tell ki this fish gave me the luck, and yeah, it is coming from a cultural tradition. I've heard such stories, but I don't know exactly if you are asking from which culture it
No,
is.
because नहीं मेरा सवाल वो नहीं है मेरा सवाल है कि if it is coming from a cultural context, you know, if let's say it could be a very popular story in a particular part of India, let's say, right? But I have no background, I have no backing of this story. You know, I am coming from the north, and I have just absolutely no idea what exactly is this. Context. What is the context of the story? I have just zero. So then, in that case, I'll really struggle to understand what is happening here, right? And which is exactly what happened with me right now. I was trying to figure out. It seems a little mythical. It seems a little, coming from some kind of a your shraddha. Okay, what do you call it?
Devotion.
Belief. Coming from
belief.
a kind of belief. But I do not, मेरे को पता ही नहीं ये कौन सा स्टोरी है, क्या है, कौन सा माइथोलॉजी है, मुझे नहीं पता है. तो मुझे फिर से शायद एक बार वापस से शायद ना एक बार पढ़ने का वो कि मैं फिर से पढ़ूं. Have I missed out on something? Have I lost something? Have I lost the track? ऐसी भी नहीं है. Now the moment something like this happens, I will probably not have a second chance. And this really interesting. कि अरे कुछ तो इंटरेस्टिंग है लेकिन समझ में नहीं आया, फिर से पढ़. क्योंकि 6000 कॉपीज चेक करनी है, ठीक है, तो आई रादर से अच्छा होगा कुछ यार, इतना कोई खास नहीं है, चलो आगे बढ़ो. एंड आई सो ट्राई नॉट टू बी extremely unique or extremely coming from a very extremely cultural context. It should have some idea, some reference of a generic term. If you're not sticking to if you're not sticking to reality, if let's say your characters are not real characters talking about some real stuff like others, जो भी हमने शूट्स देखा है ना, किसी को लड़की से प्यार है उसके लिए बात हो रही है, किसी को कुछ है उसको बात हो रही है, किसी को शकील भाई के साथ प्रॉब्लम है उससे बात हो रही है, तो वो रियल स्टफ है. Now जैसे ही यहाँ पे you start talking about कि it's the same camel look, camel only Mahesh को, ये मेरे को समझ let's hurry up otherwise we miss our fish of luck. तो ये fish of luck जो है मिस हो जाएगा क्योंकि camel यहाँ खड़ा है.
Yeah, so basically that Mahesh guy told them that you will see once in 5 years this camel comes near the ocean and with 3 people on it, and these are the signs if this happens on this day, then you will catch your fish.
तो भाई ये बात तो मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा? ये तो इसका कहीं तो कुछ होना चाहिए, मतलब ये
Okay,
बात
sir, I understood that I should be more clearer with the thing.
मतलब because you don't have time. No, it's not a screenplay
Yeah.
you're writing. If you're writing a screenplay in a film, then it's a fantastic way to convey. But यहाँ पे तो your intent is something else. You have to clear this examination.
Yeah.
यहाँ पे examination clear करना है, which is and the only way or the best way, the most safest bet is to really attract your stuff. Your write-up should be attractive enough to fetch you enough marks and interesting enough at the same time, and at the same time simple enough to understand, as simple as possible, right?
Okay.
So, without getting into the complexities, because complexities actually may not help you. Complexities अगर आ गया सामने, तो एग्जामिनर बोलेगा ये क्या, कुछ तो है इंटरेस्टिंग है, कुछ तो है, क्या है, फिर से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. एंड वो भी बोलेगा अच्छा पढ़ भी लिया मान लो, फिर बोला अच्छा कॉम्प्लेक्स भी है, ये भी है, लेकिन इतने समय में नहीं कन्वे कर पाया ये वो, इट विल नॉट बी अ.
Yes, sir, understood. I understood.
So play it safe. Think up with something really simple, and yet interesting, right?
So, sir, the question B and C, I got a little confused because I was like, how to do it. So, but whatever I understood, I'm that time, I'm just, I'm gonna say
Fair
that.
enough.
Yeah. There is a wind blowing around. The sound of waves falling can be heard all around. The chatter all around is the chatter of people can be heard. Slow footsteps of people walking by, camel sound and its footsteps can be heard around. The pebbles around the ocean colliding with each other, making sound. Sound of sand moving around with the wind is soothing to ears. The sounds from mobile phones can be heard. Someone is on a call and someone is playing music.
Okay.
I understood through your thing that what actually we need to, how we should write this. I didn't know it earlier, so I was planning to skip the question, but I was like, let me try whatever I know.
But then you have to understand, next time this question will not happen and not come. There are some other questions. But तुमको ये वाला सोच, ये वाला approach को अपनाना है. The approach is more important. You have to understand what my intention is. What am I hinting at? So that is more important. And couple of things that you have to be very, very careful. Once again, repeating myself, you have to be observant, and your imagination should go as wide as possible. Imagination goes wild, and at the same time, imagination जो wilderness है उसको बहुत ही simple तरीके से बुनते हुए you have to convey your story.
Okay, sir.
So, and once again, this is again very, very short. If it is,
yeah.
I think
Because,
they have asked
because
50 words. Yeah. Soundscape is 250 words, right? So 250 words, but this is nothing, है ना?
हाँ सर, क्योंकि वो B और C में ना मुझे बहुत confusion हो रहा था कि if did I understood, I was not able to understand what should I write. So that is why I think this mistake happened. Sorry for this.
No, it's okay. You're here to learn. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. So
okay, so C you should not read only because it's too short. In the shooting process, following things need to be arranged. The main protagonist, extras all around doing different activities, camel and a camel trainer, an ocean view, fishing nets, clothing for every character. And now I can write because same. I was like, am I writing the same correct thing? Is this the required thing?
But I'll tell you, of all of them, you are closest to the correct thing actually.
Okay.
You are actually hitting it correct, because you're not talking about which camera एरी 535 लेके आना है या वो सब कुछ नहीं, वो सब सब क्रैप है, वो सब बकवास है. वो इंटेंशन, you're hitting it correct. You need main protagonist, extras all doing different activities. Camel चाहिए, camel trainer चाहिए, very nice. Camel trainer किसी मेरे को भी नहीं स्ट्राइक किया था कि actually camel trainer भी चाहिए हो सकता है वहाँ पे, right? And ocean view, what does that mean?
Means a beach तो का होना चाहिए, yeah.
So space, है ना? Fishing nets and clothing for every character. Now this is what you saw in the image and you wrote down, right? What else can you write? What else which is not visible in the image but still a part of that space? You know, that will help you.
There can be a chart wala or
Exactly. Yeah. So अगली बार जब आपके पास ऐसा सवाल आएगा, an image आएगा, तो वो जो दिख रहा है उतना तो डालना ही है, उसके बियॉन्ड और आप क्या डालेंगे और कितने इंटरेस्टिंग चीजें डालेंगे, you know, that will define or decide how much will you score. Right.
Okay,
and
sir.
if it's again 100 words, so you better stick to somewhere around 100.
Okay, sir.
And that's the test of it. No, that's what they're
Yeah.
looking for. How much can you imagine, you know, of a space like this?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Then the helicopter question. As Gondal, Ajay and Keshav were leaving to catch the fish, which will change their destiny forever, a strong wind blew and the sand of the beach started flying in the air. A roaring sound of helicopter was all around. The sand went in everyone's eyes. All the people there started running. Gondal tried clearing his eyes. He looks that the camel has also started moving from the place. In the fear, he tried running towards the ocean. Ajay screams at him to not go near the ocean, but he, along with Keshav, tries to go towards the ocean. Due to so much sand in their eyes, they fall down. Keshav tries clearing his eyes and looks that the camel is gone from there, and a big fish as big as a whale in a little deeper part of the ocean comes out, jumps, and goes back inside, producing a wave which hits Keshav and Gondal badly. Ajay is awestruck looking at this, but now the fish of their luck is gone too far.
Okay, now if I was the examiner, I would have given a lot of marks in this because you have actually nailed it correctly again. You know, now you took the idea of a helicopter and you did not stick to helicopter. You actually, you know, made it into an event.
Yeah.
Right? And you created a kind of a domino effect and a kind of a, you know, a trigger, and then suddenly a lot of things have happened, which is actually what the question is. What can it trigger? You know, what can it affect? How can it change? And you have come up with what dolphin, a whale, you know, pop up. वो अंदर से वो भी सुन लिया. So suddenly it's a very interesting, exciting read for me, you know.
Yeah.
पर में तो आवाज से तो लोग उठे ही हिल गए, चीजें हुई, वो अंदर से एक वेल भी निकल के बाहर आकर देख के भैया क्या था ये. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is very interesting. Suddenly it is very nice. It's not just the general stuff जो हर कोई लिखता है या हर कोई लिखा है कि जो दिख रहा हो उसमें ही कुछ तो कर. It's something very, जो मतलब कि आपने सोचा है बैठ करके, सोचा है 1-2 मिनट देख करके, अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है, वो भी हो सकता है, ऐसी चीज हो सकती करके आपने फिर उसको एक स्टोरी केस में लिख दिया. So this is very nice. This is very nice. हाँ, but I think ये भी कितना होगा, ये है क्या?
हाँ सर, ये है, ये मैंने चेक कर दिया.
ये करेक्ट है. इसका वो 10 में अच्छे बन जाते हैं.
Okay sir, thank you.
Yeah, ठीक है. So any questions, Utsi?
No sir, I think by your feedbacks to even others, I was listening to them. My doubts got cleared.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, and now Ekagra.
Hello.
एक मिनट, Ekagra. Yes, Ekagra Singhal.
Yeah, so the first part, राजू भाई आज मछली ज्यादा पकड़नी है तभी रात की पार्टी का इंतजाम होगा. पॉल, हाँ आज बोट को थोड़ा अंदर तक लेके चलेंगे, वहां ज्यादा मछली मिलेगा. वर्गीस, वो ठीक है, पर जो वाटर पुलिस वहां रहता है, अलाउड नहीं है उतना अंदर तक जाना। वो हमारा जाली ले लिया तो साला नेक्स्ट डे का भी जाएगा और अगले 2 महीने तक का पार्टी का पैसा खर्च हो जाएगा जाल छुड़ाने में। पॉल, अबे चलना डरपोक। गिव्स वर्गीस अ स्लाइट पुश। वर्गीस, अरे यार तू कुछ पागल है क्या? बेवकूफी की बात करा लो सारा दिन। स्टैंड्स अप एंड किक्स पॉल। राजू, ओए ओए, अच्छा लड़ो मत। Intervenes and stops the fight. रास्ता निकालते हैं कुछ. Takes out a बीड़ी, lights it and gives a side glance to Paul. Paul smiles back slyly. Looks at Verghese. It's Raju looking at Verghese. बस आज चलते हैं थोड़ा अंदर तक, चिंता मत कर, कुछ नहीं होगा, लास्ट मंथ भी तो गए ही थे ना. Verghese gives a disappointing look. ठीक है चलो.
ओके, सो मोस्टली फीडबैक लगभग सबको जो दिया वो वही है हमारे लिए भी. बट एक तो चीजें इंटरेस्टिंग है यहाँ पे. पहली बात तो आपने जो कैरेक्टर उठाया ना, ये पॉल, वर्गीज एंड और ये कौन था?
राजू.
नहीं राजू, नहीं कुछ चौथा भी कोई एक है यहाँ पे.
राजू, पॉल एंड वर्गीज.
ये तीन है ना? ओके.
Yeah.
Suddenly it is more believable because I've stayed here in Bombay and other coastal parts of India, and let's say Goa for that matter. Suddenly Paul and Varghese सुन करके ना मेरे को लगा हाँ ये वही के लोग हैं. They are people from this space, belonging to this space. They are not Birjus and Birju and Sanjay and people who may not be of fitting characterization or names, So this is something very interesting you've done, and so this is for everybody, people, right? Try to place your characters in the image, from where they belong. Try to make them sound and look and their names be real, and believable. Paul and Varghese is more believable than वो ऊपर में जो आया था बिरजू या something, no?
So like in some other story.
In some other story. So this is more acceptable, more correctly placed, and hence I'm lesser distracted, if I may say that. I'm lesser distracted. I'm more into the gelling with your space and your characters' sound and look and feel kind of in unison. Am I making sense?
Yeah, perfectly.
So that's one wonderful thing you have achieved. Otherwise, बहुत छोटा है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा ही छोटा है. और एक तो मेरे को ये समझ नहीं आया भाई ये क्या हो रहा है, तुम सब के सब पार्टी क्यों कर रहे हो? मतलब ये क्या है, इसमें कुछ है क्या, मतलब जो मैं मिस कर रहा हूँ?
Like 3 people together, so like that's.
So 3 people on a beach will always end up partying. I don't understand.
Like it's more like a stereotypical bias. 3 guys sitting together.
That's very strange, actually. And the other thing I suddenly also it struck me, if there's a fishing net and people are engaged doing something with fishing net, where or not does it say that fishing net se fish hi pakad sakte hai? Why can't, let's say, these people be a part of a team from the municipality who are looking for a dead body inside the ocean? Why can't something like that happen? Why can't you go beyond what is so obvious?
Right.
Why can't you see, the idea is to go beyond the obvious and go, तभी उसमें मजा है, तभी उसमें 1-2 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा है basically. तुम्हारे जो एक्स्ट्रा नंबर्स हैं वही छुपे हुए हैं. If it sounds and looks very generic like any other story जो कि कोई भी लिख सकता है ना, तो मैं नंबर काटूंगा नहीं, पर वो एक्स्ट्रा नंबर्स तो नहीं दूंगा.
Understood.
For sure. So you have to be very, very careful about that. And if it is saying 250 words, you better stick to around that.
Got
it. Okay. Sounds good.
The mushy sound of waves lashing at the shore mingled with the indistinct voices of the people around in the vicinity, with a lot of people talking but no way to tell what it is they are saying. An occasional braying of the camel and the shout of the man selling the camel ride. Clicking sounds of the camera. of the photographer taking pictures of people on the camel, an occasional whirring of the seagulls passing by overhead in the sky, the sound of the match hitting the box, and the flames mixed with the background noise of the waves and the two friends fighting, the little swishes emanating out of Paul rubbing at the fishing net with his hands while conversing with the other two, the sound of a plastic bottle being crushed by a passerby, and then the sound of it hitting the ground as the person throws it.
That's very nice. The last bit was really interesting. Something that very much can happen, but it is somehow we have skipped it, kind of. So these are those elements that we are looking for. Somebody crushing the bottle of plastic bottle and maybe throwing it somewhere. Somebody, there's such activities which is a very much part of that space. And then now उन activities का क्या किस तरह के soundscape बन सकते हैं ना. So that is the challenge. But nice. Once again, it's nice, but I wish कि ये वाला जो part है ना, जैसे crushed bottle वाला, ऐसे elements और एक दो चार होते हैं ना.
Basically non-obvious stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because obvious is not so interesting. Obvious is pretty much boring.
Got it.
And your idea is to attract his attention as much as possible. The examiner's attention. Right. All this briefing is only for specific for this examination. I'm not saying कि तुमको life में ये practice करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
It's like जब acting के लिए आप जाते हो ना, audition देते हो ना, actors जो होते हैं, तो आपको audition देना होता है, ठीक है? कोई character के लिए आपको 2-4 लाइन दिए जाते हैं और फिर वो audition ले रहे होते हैं. तो आप audition जब देते हैं ना, तो आपको ये नहीं देखना कि मैं कितना character का क्या कर सकता हूँ. आप शायद ऑडिशन नहीं पास करेंगे. आपको वो ऑडिशन में क्या करना है ताकि आप ऑडिशन में आप उन हजारों ऑडिशंस में आपका शक्ल दिख जाए, आपको वो ध्यान में रखना पड़ता है. It's something like this that you have to do something that. Anyways, I strayed out of the context, but
it's really helpful. Okay, so the third part, requirements. I had no idea what to write, so I just wrote camera, mics, lights guy. But
वो भी अगर लिखते तो at least you should have completed the 100-word limit. No, ये क्या चार words में answer खत्म.
Like, I had no idea. I was like really lost. I was like, ये class में ही पता चलेगा क्या लिखना है इसके अंदर. Okay, so now the helicopter enters wala part. As the friends are talking, suddenly the sand starts blowing like a dust storm as an helicopter suddenly passes over the beach at a lowered height with a roaring sound. Paul tries saying something to Varghese but is hardly audible to even himself and dejectedly stops speaking. Raju is looking at the flying object with an open mouth, gaping look, oblivious to everything else, and suddenly that crushed plastic bottle comes flying and hits him in the stomach, bringing him back to his sense of immediate surroundings. People are running and there is a mild commotion as they try and hold their stuff in order to keep it from flying away from them. The camel suddenly starts running and braying as he jerks off the guy sitting on top of him, and he can be seen falling to the ground. The camel rider owner starts chasing the camel, who is running wild, and 2 more people are hit by it. The camel is running towards the 3 friends, and they are looking up at the helicopter, unaware of the camel approaching. The camel owner shouting at them, but inaudible. The camel suddenly hits into the 3, and his feet get enmeshed in the net, and he falls onto the ground. The owner smiles, and the 3 friends on the ground, fallen with the camel hitting them, look at each other and laugh.
Okay, so very nice. This is what I've been kind of expecting, or I would have. So very nice write-up, very interesting. You created a sequence of events which were very interesting, very unique, and perhaps only you could have thought. But मैं कुछ और ही सोच रहा था, So which is where it becomes very interesting and very rich. So nice job.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I had like 3 questions.
Yeah, I can't.
One is about extemporaneity. Like for me, like the way I write, I am writing an idea. It's like just visualizing and writing going hand in hand. So even this write-up, because since we're practicing for the exam, so the way I practice is I pick up the prompt and I just give myself the exact time I'll have in the exam, and I just start writing.
Yeah.
So it's more like a betting thing happening, because you are writing and the scene is literally happening while you're writing. So
Right.
even this whole camel thing, it happened towards the end of the thing, because then I thought, acha, helicopter aa gaya, camel kya kar raha hoga? Then suddenly the camel started running and running amok, and it just became a slapstick thing. So this is one thing I am still not able to strategize. How do you imagine the whole scene when you personally write this way? And the second thing was vocabulary issue. So there are places where I kind of hold back, because since I'm writing in English, and yet my English vocabulary is not as good, because I wanted to make the friends fighting scene more extensive and deeper, but I had no words. So like the way I write for myself, I would have written, then they were lotoing and fighting and rolling on the ground. So can we use vocabulary like this, or can we like use simpler vocabulary?
Okay. So first question का answer ये है कि so when you say you're writing and you're imagining and you're writing it down as it happens is fine, and that's how it happens. It's just that instead what I am trying to suggest is don't just immediately jump into writing, because that, and if you give 2 more minutes to yourself, this very writer or this very stuff which has already struck you, right, can become even more richer, you know, just by giving 2 more minutes to yourself. Because ये तुमको question पढ़ते ही तुम्हारे दिमाग चलने लगता है, and you start, you know, seeing things कि क्या क्या हो सकता है, possibilities क्या क्या है, right? 2 मिनट और दे दो अपने आप को, तो वही जो possibilities जो already strike कर चुका है तुमको, जो कि you have already, as if you have written it down, that might actually end up being far more richer than what it is right now. No?
Understood.
So don't shy away from giving yourself some that very much needed time. That's a very much important pointer. Second, what was your second question?
The vocabulary thing.
The vocabulary. So, mere bhai, this is not the test of your English language or any other language. Your idea is to convey.
Understood.
Convey in as little or as many, whatever way you feel you deem best fit. But you have to convey your element.
Okay, that way, so language thing is not that.
Language is not an issue.
Go anyway, basically. It has to be clear to the other guy.
Yeah.
And
language
one
issue नहीं तुमको अपना कन्वे करना, तुम चाहे जैसे भी करो, तुम चाहे लैंग्वेज करके करो, तुम चाहे डायलॉग करके करो, चाहे तुम खाली एक्शंस में करो, चाहे तुम बंगाली में करो, whatever, it doesn't matter, you have to convey. Don't get me wrong, reader अगर examiner बंगाली नहीं है तो he might find it difficult, but उसका भी मैं अंदर की बात बता रहा हूँ, उसका भी they don't really strike off the thing. It's like somebody who's coming from a गांव of Bengal, very much eligible for FTI position, place, and he can't really answer in Hindi or English. He can actually choose to write in Bengali, and these buggers, they will figure out who's going to check the answers. That's not a problem. But my point is that language is not an issue here, right?
Understood.
Your lack of imagination could be a big problem, is a big problem.
Got it.
You be very, very careful with that.
And one last thing I wanted to ask, this is about the imagination part, because now that you said it, that's why I wanted to ask it. Like, personally, as a person, when I write, I usually like writing absurd stuff. So even in this scene, I was like, I wanted to make people fly because of the wind that was blowing. But then I stopped myself. I was like, yeah, don't enter the zone of absurdity.
Okay, I get your point. So that's not a problem until and unless you don't justify that absurdity, or don't really, make me realize that it is actually absurdity that you're talking about. You're hitting at absurdity. Your genre is absurdity. Until that is struck, and which is very, very difficult in 250 words that you are expected to deliver. So don't get into those waters. My suggestion would be that. But if let's say you're a master of that, and you can really mold your words, and you can play around with the words, and create that absurd thing also in a very interesting and make believable way. So why not? Why should you not? Why can you not write a Harry Potter, let's say, for that matter, into 50 words. If you can make believe me as a writer, as a reader.
Understood.
So then go ahead. Like, it is not my strength,
Mhm.
but it may be your strength. So why not? And you should know कि तुम्हारा strength क्या है ना?
Understood.
अगर है तो फिर करो.
Got it.
These are those platforms. यहाँ पे तुम actually you should explore those things. You know.
Understood.
एक्सप्लोर कर लो यहाँ पे अगर जैसे मैं हूँ या कोई और टीचर है उनको अगर लगेगा यार ये क्या लिख दिया मतलब तुम समझ जाओ कि नहीं ये नहीं घुसना है तो एग्जाम में ये नहीं जाना ये नहीं करना और
Got
अगर
it.
तुमको अच्छा लगे तो करो व्हाई नॉट
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
ठीक है ओके so let's move on.
Sir, I made a grave mistake actually. I didn't, Ananya Das. Sir, actually, I didn't see the picture only. So the question was name 3 characters and write a dialogue sequence amongst them. So what I thought was I didn't see the picture. I saw those 3 questions. So
Okay.
what I did was I named 3 characters out of nowhere and I wrote a story through dialogue.
No, you didn't see the picture. मतलब you didn't see the picture.
Picture only. So what I did was, sir, scroll down a little bit. What I saw was, yeah, name 3 characters as different names and then develop a
But
dialogue sequence.
there is a simple thing. What's your name?
Ananya
Ananya
Das.
Das.
Yeah,
When
sir.
everybody saw the picture, why you did not see the picture?
Sir, I actually saw it, but then I moved down to the third
In the
question.
exam, would you do
Yeah.
that?
No.
You have ample time, no pressure, nothing, and now you are telling here that you did not see the picture.
Sorry,
This
sir.
is
So-
very strange.
No, but it reflects something about you, Ananya. It reflects maybe you're not very careful about certain things. So you have to really
Yeah, sir. Sorry.
because these
चलो पढ़ो
mistakes-
पढ़ो फटाक से चलो पढ़ दो चलो.
Okay, sir. Mr. Chadda, drinks. Okay, wait a second. Yeah. Drinks. If drinks did not existed, I don't think there is any meaning to life. Mr. Roy, I don't know much about drinks, but I believe family adds meaning to life. Mr. Christopher, don't listen to Roy. I agree with you, Mr. Chadda, but I have some more pointers to add. Before that, cheers to our new group and our long lasting friendship. Mr. Chadda, you were saying something, Mr. Christopher. Drinks, people, and movies add meaning to life. Mr. Roy, what do you mean by people? Mr. Chadda, come on, Mr. Roy, don't tell me that you don't understand. It means affairs. Mr. Roy, what? How can you people cheat on your own wives? It's unethical. Mr. Christopher, keep your Bengali morals aside. It's very common and fun. Okay, let me describe to you the woman I am with currently. She's very energetic and happy, which makes my depression, helps me with my depression, unlike my wife, who is very quiet. Mr. Roy, is she married? Mr. Chadda, how does it matter? Anyways, the lady I am with is very cultured, so I have started reading because of her. Mr. Roy, I don't agree with you guys, so for the sake of our friendship, look at your wife's pictures and see how you guys feel about it. I will do the same. The 3 of them show their pictures with their wives to each other. Mr. Chadda, your wife is my girlfriend, Mr. Roy. Mr. Christopher, your wife is my girlfriend, Mr. Chadda. So, sir, one line is cut actually. I wrote an action line below this, Mr. Chadda. It doesn't show here. So, what I wrote was the 3 of them the 3 of them didn't stop till they scratched one another's face out. That line has been missed. I emailed it.
Okay. अच्छा यही है बस बाकी you did
250 words, yeah. Actually, I thought you have to convey a story just through dialogues without action lines. And
no, which is fine.
comedy of errors.
ठीक है. But I was just imagining what if you told us here you did not see the picture, right? What if I was the examiner and I was reading this?
Oh, it was cut jata sir marks pura.
नहीं हो सकता है कि शायद मैं और एक ड्रॉप्स होता कि यार what this is something somebody has thought of these characters to be Mr. Roy and Mr. Chadda.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know, it was it sounded very interesting in that setup. But
Yeah.
yes, the idea is not to make such a such a mistake. It's criminal, right? And what about the rest of the answers?
Sir, that's what I did. I did the second question for tomorrow, and this part I made a big mistake about that picture thing.
No, about the other things, soundscape.
Describe the sound. So that's where the problem comes in. If I'd done that picture thing, then that soundscape wouldn't have been a problem. I thought I'll do it in a screenplay format. So I'll put in action lines and then dialogue. But then it just wasn't clicking, and then I would have to write the whole thing, and then it would have exceeded 250 words. So I went wrong in that whole department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is very complicated. I don't know how to react, but
Yeah.
so
Because if I had done this, if for example, this is a different thing I took
भाई
up.
सिंपल है इसका
Yeah.
सिंपल सा इस सवाल इस सिचुएशन का आंसर यही है अनन्या
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
कि भाई साहब you have to be very careful when you're reading the text, right?
Yeah, sir.
You have to be patient enough, you have to be calm, quiet, you know.
Yes,
You know
sir.
the best thing about this for again for every one of us here, people, na? One coming from my own experience. FTI ka interest is the only interest on earth which is, I think, the easiest and the happiest and the merriest. When you are enjoying the entire process, as you are writing the answers. So you should have that thing in your mind. You should have that relaxed thing. It's fun. And the moment you make it fun, your answers, your imaginations, your every answer in the questions will be very interesting. So you have to make it. You have to be relaxed. You can't really be calm. That shouldn't be the idea, right? So, okay. So, there was one guy who we skipped because he was not there. Somebody, I don't remember which one. वो आ गया है तो कर लें उसको सर कि आगे बढ़े
नहीं, we should not do it because if people are not serious, let's forget about them. Abhinav, let's finish it off. We are already done with the today's time.
Correct.
So as simple as that. So today's thing is done, I suppose. And
somebody has raised somebody has a question. Just one minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, could you explain the third question a little bit more about the audio and visual shooting? What are the things that you will need to arrange for the shoot?
भाई ये तो हमने अभी 8 लोगों का पढ़ा उसमें सब तो समझा ही दिया और क्या समझेगा
Sir, then what are the elements we will include regarding audio? Visual I understood. बस audio में क्या-क्या include करना होगा? Because it is asking audio visual shooting, na?
If the above is a situation for an audio visual shooting, okay. Audio visual shoot का मतलब क्या होता है? कि you're not doing a picture photography. You're doing something which is moving or audio visual मतलब कैसे explain करोगे? Video मतलब जिसको video है picture नहीं फोटोग्राफी में ऑडियो नहीं रहेगा ऑब्वियसली ना कि तुम फोटोग्राफी कर तो ऑडियो विजुअल होता है where audio and visual both are used in a shoot. That shoot is called an AV shoot or audio visual shoot. तो इनका वही इंटेंशन है भैया ऑडियो विजुअल शूट चल रहा है या करना है मतलब तुमको पिक्चर शूट करनी है वो सीन को शूट करना है जिसमें कि विजुअल भी होगा रिकॉर्डिंग भी होगी साउंड भी होगा मतलब सीन होगा जैसे फिल्म में होता है ना जैसे किसी तो भैया आप क्या क्या करोगे क्या अरेंज करने के लिए क्या चाहिए आपको वही है अरेंज करने के लिए आपको जो भी चीजें चाहिए कि तो ऑडियो विजुअल का मतलब ये नहीं कि ऑडियो के लिए क्या चाहिए और विजुअल के क्या चाहिए ऐसा नहीं है
ओके सर
एक टर्म है जैसे कि हम बोलते हैं कि जैसे हम बोलते हैं डीवी बोलते हैं डिजिटल वीडियो का मतलब ये कि डिजिटल वीडियो कुछ अलग से कुछ वीडियो डीवीडी डिजिटल वीडियो इज बेसिकली तुम्हारा डिजिटल फॉर्मेट में वीडियो का शूटिंग है तुम चाहे अब तो बड़े हाई एंड कैमरास में भी रेड में भी डिजिटल वीडियो ही शूट कर रहे हैं एक तरह से इन इफेक्ट वो भी डिजिटल है और वीडियो है सो इट इज नॉट अबाउट उसको ब्रेक डाउन मत करो ऑडियो विजुअल शूट मतलब कि एक जनरल शूट अगर करना उसी सीन को शूट करना तुमको क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है
Sir, so the entire, I think all of us got confused in this only, ki audio visual shooting.
There was one guy who got it correct.
Yeah.
So it's not about, it's about trying to understand what is the intent of the question.
Got it, sir.
ठीक है, चलो फिर let's pack it up for today. Okay. Sir, any pointers from your end?
No, I think it's fine. We are done for today and it's okay. You have given enough time and enough explanation to everyone. और ये जो सिली मिस्टेक आप लोग कर रहे हैं कि अरे मैंने तो फोटो ही नहीं देखा, मतलब कोई आदमी ब्लाइंड आदमी ये बोले तो समझ आता है, दो आंखें हैं, 10-10 घंटे मिले हुए हैं तुमको और तुम बोल रहे हो हमने तो फोटो ही नहीं देखा, तो बड़ा अजीब लगता है। ठीक है, तो इफ यू आर नॉट, और कम से कम चलो कोई बात नहीं, वो छोटी सी बात है। बाकी जो लोग अपना सो रहे हैं घर में बैठ के और यहाँ पे गलती से आ जाते हैं घूमते हुए, हालांकि आते ही नहीं है, 13 लोग वही आते हैं जो जिन्होंने कुछ किया होता है, और एक सबमिट करके अपना सो गया, तो उससे कुछ नहीं होगा। इट इज योर लॉस। टीचर आएगा, कमेंट्री देगा, कमेंट्री तभी देगा जब आपने कुछ किया होगा। आपने कुछ नहीं किया तो कोई दूसरा आदमी कुछ नहीं करेगा आपके लिए। एग्जाम आप लोगों ने देने आना है, दूसरा आदमी आपको हेल्प कर सकता है। गूगल मैप में अगर तुमको चांदनी चौक से अशोक विहार जाना है और वहां डाल के बैठ जाओगे तो गूगल मैप में रास्ता दिखाई देगा, आपको चलना आपको पड़ेगा। We can only show you the way out, but if you keep looking at the map and you think you will reach Ashok Vihar from Chandni Chowk, you will never.
Very nice, sir.
Very simple. कुछ करोगे तो कोई बताएगा आपको, नहीं करोगे तो अपना देखते रहो मैप को बैठ के अपना। तो बहुत लोग देखते हैं, अब ये वीडियो जब कल पहुंच जाएगा लोगों को, देखेंगे लोग कि लोगों ने क्या बातें करी। उन लोगों ने बातें करी, तुमने तो नहीं किया कुछ, तुम तो अपना देख रहे हो, देख रहे हो। वहां पे ये फुटबॉल का मैच होने वाला है वहां पर, और वहां पर गोल करना है, वहां तालियां नहीं बजानी, वहां जाके पीछे वो जो लोग हजारों लोग देख रहे होते हैं मैच के, ताली, अरे बड़ा मजा आ रहा है। ये ताली बजाने वाला खेल नहीं है, ये यू हैव टू प्ले द गेम, एज सिंपल एज दैट। तो जो कर रहे हैं अच्छी बात है, जो नहीं कर रहे हैं वो भी अच्छी बात है। So I think we are done for today. It was nice session, and tomorrow